I'm Ron Thulin. Charles, I think it's safe to say this is a bigger rivalry for Texas Tech than it is for Texas, but you can't tell Longhorn quarterback Colt McCoy that. He grew up about 180 miles from Lubbock, used to come to games here, and he has been on quite a journey since that time, and it's been a journey that's been quite successful the last couple of weeks.
It really has, and everyone's waiting for this redshirt freshman to kind of hit the wall and have a tough game, but thus far, you take away Ohio State early, he's played quite well. 70% passer during this win streak that Texas is on right now. 16 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions since the Ohio State game, and he's gained the respect of his teammates, those guys in the huddle, and that was a tough thing to do after Vince Young last year, but he has done it, and tonight he must control his emotions. As you mentioned, he's from near here, and he knows all these guys from Texas Tech. He must play within himself this evening.
Well, one of the guys he knows from Texas Tech is their quarterback, Graham Harrell, who, after back-to-back losses, underwent a lot of criticism, but nothing that a 6-touchdown win over Iowa State wouldn't cure.
Criticism? What criticism?
No
yeah, that was a couple of games ago when he was struggling against Colorado and against Missouri. In those ball games, he threw 4 touchdown passes, but had a combined 9 turnovers. Against Iowa State, 6 touchdown passes, 0 turnovers. That will quell all the criticism, and he doesn't have to look over his shoulder now. He is their guy, but he will need some help from his defense tonight. Only 11 turnovers forced all year long for Texas Tech. They need to force at least 4 tonight to give their offense a chance.
Now, Mack Brown is 35-3 against teams within the state of Texas. His last loss came in 2002, right here in Lubbock against Texas Tech. Now let's send it back to our studios in Atlanta.
Front row on the visiting sideline by the tunnel where it's important to cheer for Texas Tech, but even more important to jeer Texas.
All right, thank you very much, Craig. Mack Brown, the 2005 National Coach of the Year, the Big 12 Coach of the Year. He's 66-5 versus unranked opponents, trying to add a little bit of that tonight. And his counterpart, of course, is Mike Leach. Already has a law degree from Pepperdine, so he can fall back on something if this coaching thing doesn't work out. He's the first coach to take his first 6 teams to bowls. Done a great job. Hunter Lawrence kicks it away for Texas. They won the toss. They have deferred. Shannon Woods from about the 8. Gets up over the 20, up to about the 23-yard line. That's where Texas Tech will get underway. Let's take a look at Texas Tech's offense. They are the number 3 passing offense in the country. Graham Harrell, he's learning to spread the ball around, especially last week. 9 receivers caught passes against Iowa State, Josh.
And in this offense, when it's clicking the way that they expect, that's what you get. 9 different guys catching the ball. That means the ball's being spread around because it's based on reads, not trying to force it to a certain receiver.
No quarterback controversy at Texas Tech, my friends.
Now, despite Coach Leach almost making one, he has let everyone know that this is his guy. 1st and 10,
Shannon Woods in the backfield. And they try it on the ground with Woods, and he may actually lose a yard on the play. Let's take a look at our Red Lobster starting lineups. The Texas Tech offensive line. Brandon Jones, he's anchored this offensive line for the last couple of years at center. And in the skill positions, we just saw him. Shannon Woods at running back, coming off his best game of the year against Iowa State. He's not only a pretty good runner, he also is a threat receiving. 2nd down and 11. They did lose a yard on the play. Harrell, the quick out. Over the 25, up to the 27. A couple of penalty flags come flying in. Robert Johnson on the reception.
Holding. Number 8, offense. 10 yards, previous spot. 2nd down.
Joel Filani, the culprit. Claire Gaussman, our referee tonight. Our Red Lobster starting lineup. The Texas defense, number 2 in the country versus the run. They're going to try to keep people fresh. Brian Robinson, dogged by an ankle injury. He's one of the many DLs we're going to see tonight. Linebacker Scott Derry, he's the best story of the year on defense. Plays more snaps than any other linebacker for the Longhorns. And in the secondary, he's a good one. Aaron Ross, leading candidate for the Thorpe Award. He does things that coaches cannot coach, and they love him. Ball is moved back to the 15-yard line. 2nd down and 18. You can see the penalties that Texas Tech had, but last week they were dinged for plus 100. Harrell over the middle, pass caught up over the 30 to the 34-yard line. Jared Hicks, his 17th reception of the year.
What's nice about this is that they get their big horse into the game early, Jared Hicks, and he's running against Texas's best defender in the secondary so far this year, Aaron Ross. A deep slant-in route, perfectly thrown ball, and Jared Hicks is often running tonight.
19 yards on the pickup. That's a very important point of this football game, is that Graham Harrell didn't lock onto him. He went through his reads and then found him. He's going to try it again. Here comes the pressure from the backside. Steps up into the pocket, complete up to the 43-yard line. Graham Harrell just showing a lot of patience despite a lot of pressure.
What I like about this play is how Graham Harrell uses his eyes and his feet to continue to keep the play alive and complete it downfield. Many people focus on his so-called lack of mobility, but you don't have to take off and run into the secondary every time. It's being able to create passing lanes for yourself and for your team. That's exactly what Graham Harrell just did.
That sets up a 2nd down and 1 from the 43-yard line. Opening drive for Texas Tech. Woods, right side, tries to dip that left shoulder in. Doesn't get the first down. That'll bring up a 3rd down and short. Let's take a look at tonight's Orbit's fast and easy keys to the game. First up, Texas Tech.
Well, they must accentuate the positive. They must win the plus-minus turnover battle by at least 3 to win, in my estimation, or -5 on the year. Stand-up guy. They need to keep Graham Harrell upright in the pocket. In their losses, he's been sacked 9 times out of their 12 all year. And go forth with alacrity. That's enthusiasm. Give this crowd a reason to stay with this ball club. They're hopped up. They want to keep them that way.
Somebody's been reading their Reader's Digest word power. 3rd down and 2. Harrell into the flat, a big hit, incomplete pass at the 45-yard line. That was a major hit, and that'll bring up a 4th down and 2.
And it brings up a big decision early from Mike Leach, because you know he likes to go for it here. But what a great play by Aaron Ross. This is exactly what Texas wants to do. They know that Texas Tech is going to throw. They know they're going to complete passes, but they want to make the receivers pay every time they catch the ball. That's what Aaron Ross just did.
And Danny Amendola took quite a hit. Now they had a 2nd down and 1, couldn't convert on the run. And they're going to go for it. This is the gambling that Matt Brown says, if Leach gambles, I'm probably going to gamble.
Yeah, this is not unusual. If you've ever watched Texas Tech play, this is more the norm. If he punted, it'd be a surprise.
57% on 4th down this year. Harrell drops back into the shotgun.
See if he's trying to draw off sides here.
He looks his left, locking onto a receiver, going deep, has a man, Hicks, caught at the 30-yard line.
This pass protection for Graham Harrell, because this is a deep route and no one pressures him. Gives him plenty of time to find Jared Hicks in front of number 26, Marcus Griffin. They just needed about a yard. They got plenty more on that play.
27 yards on the pickup. 1st and 10 from the 31. Good opening drive for the Red Raiders. Quick looking pass. Caught inside the 20, down to the 18-yard line. Johnson again. His 3rd reception of the ball game. Against Missouri and Colorado, Texas Tech did not score any points in the first quarter. They lost. Against Iowa State, they came back and did hang touchdowns on the first quarter. Major difference for their offense.
Yeah, they scored the first 2 times they touched the football, 14 points right out of the gate. And they are allowing this crowd to continue to stay in this ball game.
From the 18, 1st and 10. Dump it off to Woods. He gets a block, looks inside of the 10, 5, touchdown, Texas Tech.
You can draw it up better, but it won't be as beautiful as it is in execution. Look at that out there, number 63, Manuel Ramirez. 78, Gabe Hall. Number 72, Brandon Jones. Didn't even have anyone to block. The play broke so open. Terrific opening drive for the Red Raiders. 18-yard touchdown pass completes it.
Relaka's extra point is perfect. He's never missed one here at Texas Tech. Shannon Woods, his second touchdown reception. Graham Harrell throws touchdown pass number 26. Graham Harrell, the sophomore from Ennis, Texas, completing 68% of his passes on the year. Throws the touchdown to Shannon Woods. And the Red Raiders leading the Longhorns 7-0. Glad you're with us tonight. Keith Toogood set to kick it away.
Pretty good numbers there for Graham Harrell, huh? Look at that, getting out of the game, fourth in NCAA total offense. And what a much better reception for him tonight than the last time we were here, when there was a little booing in the stands in the Missouri game from the interceptions.
That kick's going to go into the end zone by Toogood. He is good at doing that. Let's go back to the touchdown again.
Screen pass to the back, Shannon Woods, but look at the posse out in front. Gabe Hall takes out Scott Derry, 33. Manuel Ramirez, 63. Brandon Jones gets to lead the convoy into the end zone. Well designed, even better execution from Texas Tech.
He had a pretty good tutor in Torian Henderson, Shannon Woods did.
Yeah, if you're going to emulate someone at the F-back position, as they call it, he's the guy.
Quan Cosby now goes wide to the left. Texas will open up in the shotgun. We'll probably see a little I formation also tonight from the Longhorns. Little play action, dumping it off in the flat up to the 30-yard line. Pass is complete. Jordan Shipley, the sophomore from Burnett, Texas. Colt McCoy, 8 straight games with a touchdown pass. He's not had a bad game yet, as this Texas offense 4th in the NCAA in points. And Mack Brown says a lot of freshman quarterbacks hit that wall. He hasn't done it yet, Charles.
Yeah, so far he still sees the same bounce and enthusiasm from him, and he's hoping that continues, obviously.
This time he rolls, throws across his body, pass is complete over the 40-yard line. Quan Cosby gets up to the 50-yard line. Our Red Lobster starting lineup for the Texas offensive line. Casey Studdard, 2-time Big 12 player. Crucial fumble recovery versus Nebraska last week. He's a hustler out there. In the skill position, Selvin Young. He's the most complete running back. Of course, we're also going to see Jamal Charles as they pack a 1-2 punch running the football. They mark it at the 47, 1st and 10 for the Longhorns. Cosby makes a nice move inside, gets into Red Raider territory down to the 46-yard line. The Red Lobster starting lineup for this Texas Tech defense. First in the Big 12 versus the pass on the line. Keonta Dawson, legitimate NFL talent, having an outstanding year. Linebackers, Kellen Tillman, the senior out of Plano, Texas, second leading tackler at that spot. In the secondary, Darcel McBath, just a sophomore. Coaches say he is a pleasant surprise. Pickup of 7, it's 2nd and 3, and again they go to the air. Colt McCoy out in the flat to Cosby. Got the first down, takes a couple of whacks, but he has the first down at the 41-yard line.
And to finish what we were talking about with Colt McCoy in terms of hitting the wall and being a young freshman, most of it comes from the mental side of the game. Preparing for a new set of defenses each week, absorbing more information. It wears you down as a youngster because don't forget, they're still going to class every day. They're still trying to find their way around campus. Thus far, that has not happened with Colt McCoy, and he's awfully sharp in this first drive.
On the ground with Young. Tries to bounce to the outside. Texas Tech corrals him right at the 40-yard line. Good job stringing it out by that Tech defense.
Tackled by number 7,
Darcel McBath comes up limping on the play. He's going to come out of the ballgame.
And if I'm Texas and I see that right now, I might want to think about trying to find a pass into that zone. Because coming into the game right now is number 24, Lance Fuller. He's the backup. An old adage always says, test the backup as soon as he comes into the game. Let's see what he's got.
Lance Fuller's brother Cody also played here at Texas Tech. 2nd and 9. They're looking. McCoy, he's dangerous when he runs, throws into the flat, passes complete at the 30-yard line to Quan Cosby. Our Orbit's fast and easy keys to the game. Let's take a look at the Texas Longhorns and Mack Brown.
Well, I think that in this ball game, they want to establish a running game and run deep. They haven't had a 20-yard run or more since the Rice game. Control. They want to control their emotions, control the crowd, and control the football and keep Mike Leach's offense on the bench. And what will Mack Brown wear for Halloween? His costume may be Mike Leach's alter ego. He may go for it more today with an uncertain kicking game and wanting to keep Texas Tech's offense on the bench.
Young leans forward into the 25-yard line. Pick up about 5 on the play. Jake Ratliff on the stop. Sophomore out of Lawton, Oklahoma. Lawton Ike High School. They alternate Selvin Young and Jamal Charles.
Yes, and when you're talking about alternating, the Texas Tech defensive line is alternating on every play. We knew we'd get that type of rotation from Texas's defensive line. I'm seeing the same thing early in the game from Tech's defensive front. Every play, 2 or more guys rotate into the game.
On 2nd and 5, Jamal Charles. He was stopped at about the 21-yard line. We see Texas run a lot out of the gun. There is a misconception that you can't run out of a shotgun formation.
Yeah, everyone, because of the shotgun formation, a lot of your runs are sideways runs. You know, you're going to go side to side. But you can get, you can turn them into I formation type runs by bringing an H back inside to lead as a fullback and then backing up your back and running him straight downhill, as people like to call it. But for Texas, they think their personnel fits running the football.
Whoa.
I think they're saying Texas Tech has the ball.
I think they did. We never saw it come out.
I saw the end. I saw him digging around, but because it was such a delayed call, I thought that it wasn't a call there.
Well, that got the fans riled up. Claire Gaussman right on it. Mac Brown's probably wondering what the heck happened.
It's Jamal Charles on the running play. See him go inside. There's the ball. There's the ball. He's tackled by Brock Stratton. He's on top of Stratton. He's not down. Then the ball's kicked out by Lance Fuller. And now the pile, there's the pile. Looks like Antonio Huffman, 36, is on top of Jamal Charles. But because Jamal Charles never hit the ground, he's still alive. See, he's on top of Brock Stratton.
Yeah.
Still digging, and Lance Fuller's knee and shin bone knocks the ball free.
And Mack has come out on the field. He wants to talk to the referee. 5 fumbles in the last 2 games prior to this one. They lost only 1 of them.
The ruling on the field is being challenged by Texas.
See, the question I would ask if I'm Mack, when did you blow your whistle?
Yeah. We're going to take a quick break. Looking at the fumble again. Will the challenge be upheld?
Welcome back to Lubbock, where Texas Tech is up 7 on Texas. Was this a fumble or not? Jamal Charles is on top of a Texas Tech defender when the ball pops free. See, it's out right there because it came off of this guy right there, Lance Fuller.
After review, replay confirms the ball was fumbled, belongs to Texas Tech.
Let's go to Craig Sager quickly. Craig.
Well, the Texas sideline's very confused about that call. The players came over after they gave Texas Tech the ball. They told Mack Brown that they thought the whistle had blown and they thought he was down. They also checked with their radio announcers and their coaches upstairs, and that's why he decided to go for the challenge. But as we know, when you make challenges in the Big 12, very rarely are they overturned.
Yes.
About 0 for 19 in the Big 12 right now, Craig.
And, from our perspective, he was on top of Brock Stratton.
Right.
Thus, he was not on the ground. And just happenstance with Lance Fuller's knee and shin bone knocking the ball free. First turnover created of the night by Texas Tech.
David Schaefer is coming to the ball game to join Shannon Woods in the backfield. Harrell, here comes the blitz backside. Sees it, gets rid of it. Pass is complete. Robert Johnson close to the 50. Pick up a 31 on the play. Outstanding patience by that man.
Robert Johnson, isolated on a linebacker, is able to get right into the middle, right over the top of Scott Derry, number 33. And that's a battle Robert Johnson should win 99 times out of 100. Derry trying to keep him from crossing the field, but a nice fake by Johnson eludes Derry, and then he rambles deep into the secondary.
Officially 32 yards. You can see he already has picked up 4 for 56. Harrell coming off his career best 6 touchdown game versus Iowa State, picking up right where he left off. 1st and 10 from the 48. Has time, looking, throwing across his body, complete at the 40-yard line. Big hit on Jared Hicks, but nope, they're saying it's incomplete now. That's a pretty big hit by Michael Griffin. I have to say, too, this Texas secondary is a little bit dinged up, Charles.
They are. Everyone's playing with some type of an ailment. Michael Griffin has a bad ankle. His brother Marcus has 2 bad ankles. Terrell Brown with a bad toe. Aaron Ross a sprained wrist. It's a MASH unit, but no one cares about that now. The game has started. They have to produce.
Texas had 6 on the line. No penalty flag. Pass is complete down to the 42-yard line. Pick up about 6 on the play. Hicks on the reception again. Fans wanted an offside, not going to get it. One thing we're seeing, though, after that pickup of 6, Charles, is something that's the MO when you play Texas Tech. They're going to make their catches. You got to punish them after they make the reception.
Exactly right. That's what they want to do. Gene Chizik, Dwayne Aquina, the co-defensive coordinators of Texas, they want their secondary to come up and really lower the boom on these receivers, hoping that it pays dividends as the game goes on.
Texas Tech facing 3rd down, 0 for 1 early on. Harrell, the quick look in. Pass is complete. Where are they going to spot it? One official has it down to the 38-yard line. L.A. Reid on the reception. They run him back. But it looks like that'll be good enough for a 1st down. Once again, we're seeing the receivers getting punished. But this time they got the 1st down, then driven back. Bottom
line was L.A. Reid made the grab, and he caught it exactly at the 1st down marker. That's good route running and good timing between himself and his quarterback, Graham Harrell. A little more up-tempo right now with the no huddle for Texas Tech. They're trying to keep Texas's base defense on the field.
4-man rush. Harrell's got time. Wings it over the middle. Complete down to the 15-yard line. Danny Amendola.
Watch Amendola. He's the one in the middle of the 3 receivers, number 20 in red. Runs downfield on a vertical route. Terrific ball by Graham Harrell. And right now, everything that Texas Tech needed to have happen coming into this game is occurring.
They've got the 1 turnover. You said they needed 4.
They've scored on their first drive. The crowd's into the game. They're driving again.
1st and 10 from the 15. Harrell again. This time, miscommunication with his receiver. Looked like Jared Hicks went one way. The pass went the other way. We have to say, too, when you look at Texas Tech and you talk about their offense, you don't really have a playbook. You do, but mainly it's reads. That's a great case in point. Both players read something different.
And Mike Leach has told us that his playbook can be installed in 3 days of practice. What comes later are all the shifts, the motions, the alignments that you can change up and run the plays and make them look different.
You can see the red zone offense 66% this year for Texas Tech. 2nd down and 10 from the 15. Here comes the rush. Caught inside the 5, down to the 3-yard line. Joel Fulani. Harrell having a hot first quarter. Pickup of 12.
And what he also has are big physical receivers. Look at Joel Fulani run through the freshman Dion Beasley after the catch for an additional 3 yards. Joel Fulani's a strong receiver, making nice plays, weighs about 215 pounds.
11 of 14 throwing the football for Graham Harrell. Now he's got 1st and goal from the 2.
Not necessarily a rundown with Texas Tech's offense in the spread.
They'll go over center. Looking for the fade route. Throwing it up for grabs. And that was Texas Tech playing defense on that. Hicks tried to keep it away from Terrell Brown.
That was well played by Terrell Brown, number 5, the corner for Texas. Stayed into the body, in the framework of Jared Hicks, and sees the ball the whole way. Never has his head turned, so he was able to see it come right at him. And as you said, Jared Hicks had to play the defense at that point to prevent an interception.
You cornerbacks like that, didn't you?
Yes, we do.
2nd and goal from the 2.
Got a bunch formation over here. Watch for some type of a flood route to this side.
Splits on the left side of the line, not that big. They give to Woods. He's hit immediately. May have even lost a yard back to the 3-yard line. Brings up a 3rd down and goal. Inside of 7 minutes here in quarter number 1, Tim Crowder on the stop.
See, that call right there, to me, is simply a tendency breaker. Because it's really not the personality of your team to line up and all of a sudden we're going to mash inside, especially against a Texas team that's number 2 in the NCAA against the run. To me, you have to make your way throwing the ball all night long if you're Texas Tech.
On 3rd and goal, this time they'll go from the gun. Here comes Texas with a bunch of white jerseys into the flat. Touchdown, Texas Tech. Eric Morse's first touchdown reception for the sophomore.
They threw the fade route before. Now they run Jared Hicks inside and run Eric Morris out to the flat. So he just comes off of the tail of Hicks coming inside, almost like a pick route. What they would call an offense a rub route. Sorry, as a defensive back, it's a pick. but it worked out quite well. They didn't even have to pick. They ran it so well.
Relika's extra point is good. Eric Morris has had 8 receptions in the last 3 games for the Red Raiders. He comes up with touchdown number 1. Already with 5 plays plus 18 yards. They have 168 yards throwing the football. And they've got 2 touchdown passes already tonight against this Texas defense. Cosby and Selvin Young back to receive the kick of Keith Toogood. Perfect name for a kicker.
Definitely, especially the way he kicked the first kickoff.
And this one may do likewise. At 5 yards deep, they'll take a knee on it. The touchdown again.
Well, what happens here is you have Jared Hicks. He's going to run an inside route and hopefully let Eric Morris rub off of him. Because Texas is playing man-to-man, that clears out the defensive back on the side. If it's zone, he would be able to stay in the flat. But in man coverage, he's not there. Eric Morris takes advantage. Touchdown Tech. And he's loving it, isn't he? Did you see that sign before? We drove 412 miles to see Tech score 2 touchdowns, 1 every 206 miles. Eric Morris is hoping to give him a reason to keep coming back.
They're creative. A little shuffle pass. Selvin Young. Texas Tech is waiting for it. That is a play that Mike Leach loved to run when he was Bob Stoops' offensive coordinator. Bob kept the play. A lot of people are using it, and that we have to give our props to Lee Grosscup for that one.
The Cup made it famous at the University of Utah, and Texas saw it last week at Nebraska. Brandon Jackson ran it 49 yards for a touchdown against their defense.
Pick up a 4 on the play, 2nd and 6. Young again. And Texas Tech defense is swarming. Gets up to about the 28-yard line. Pick up a 4. Our 1st and 10 line is brought to you by Napa. Third down and 2 for the Longhorns. This is their first 3rd down try tonight.
Early in the game, Colt McCoy's thrown a lot of long passes into the flat. The short hitches and allowed the receivers to get upfield. That's been a big staple for them early tonight.
Tech only rushes 3 out in the flat. Should have been intercepted. Pass is incomplete. Fletcher Session had it. Intended for Limas Sweet. Good read, though, by Session.
Terrific read and break by number 42 Session into the flat and gets enough of a hand on the ball that Limas Sweet can't get to it. Beautiful play by Fletcher Session, the linebacker, because he read his keys, never retreated, and ran right to the flat and was able to knock the ball away.
Trevor Gerland is going to kick it away. Greg Johnson back, not on the team tonight because of a sore groin we told you about a couple of weeks ago. So Gerland is going to get the punt. Amendola is back, and it's a bad kick off the side of his foot. It'll go to the 48-yard line, and that's where Texas Tech will take over. Only 24 yards on the kick. A lot of big games going on today. Here's Mark Fine up and down. Thank you, Mark. Michael Griffin was down. Trainers came out, but he's up under his own power. That's good news.
Penalty flag near him. I'm wondering if he got really clobbered, maybe a block in the back, as often happens on kick plays. Oh, that's what it is right there.
20 red, 15-yard penalty.
Yeah, that's what it was. Danny Amendola, the punt returner, took a free running shot at Michael Griffin when the ball was kicked behind him and it rolled out of bounds. The officials have done a big-time job, and the NCAA has placed real emphasis on taking care of defenseless players in the field of play. And Amendola took a shot there, and they will be penalized for it. That really hurts the great field position that they had gained on the punt.
21 yards on the punt. And, of course, the penalty puts it back to the 36-yard line. That's where Texas Tech will take over. They've scored on both possessions for Mike Leach so far. And it's been the Graham Harrell show. 16 passes, 12 have been complete. A couple of touchdowns already. Shannon Woods, left side. Penalty flag is probably going to be offside against Texas. Let's talk about those splits of Texas Tech. We've seen it with a couple of other offenses. Missouri today, for instance, has them. They've patterned it off of Texas Tech. What it does, too, Charles, doesn't it make defensive players run more?
Yeah, what it does is...
Offside. Defense, number 80. 5 yards. First down.
Yeah, what it does is it tends to make you what they call run the curve a lot farther. Look at the splits here between the players. All right, what you got is a lot of gap between the offense, between all the offensive linemen. So if you're rushing as a defender, you got to go that much farther to try and get to the quarterback, especially with an outside rush.
And you're also thinking, I got to get there quicker, which may be the offsides. First down and 5. Harrell looking, throws it out to Amendola. Has some running room over the 50 to the 45. Mark him out at the 44-yard line. How did Harrell get that pass off?
Talk about poise in the pocket and staying back there and realizing, yes, I'm going to take the hit, but it's worth it for me to complete it, as Brian Robinson actually gets a hand up into his face. Fortunate that he is not flagged on the play. But Danny Amendola, the hit that he put on Michael Griffin is not one that anyone's going to advocate as a good shot on someone, but it underscores the aggressiveness right now that Texas Tech is playing with. They are the ones rocking Texas back on their heels on every play.
Pickup of 16 inside of 4 minutes. Little razzle-dazzle. Amendola is going to be dumped back at the 50-yard line. A loss of 7 on the play. Rashad Bobineau coming up from that linebacker spot, the sophomore from Lamarck, Texas.
So that's a tough one for a play caller as we look at Mike Leach, because everything's working so well right now. He thinks that he's got Texas on the run a little bit. He wants to utilize their speed against them with a reverse. So you take a little bit of a gamble, and this time it doesn't pay off.
Doesn't seem to bother him, though.
No.
He goes, okay, we lost him.
They'll go right back at
That's right. Second down and 17. 3:23 to play in the opening quarter.
See all the pointing from the offensive line to make sure the blocking assignments.
They rush 5. Harrell complete over the 45 down to the 44-yard line. Grant Walker on the reception. Log on to Rivals.com and ask Charles a question. Find Ask Charles only on Rivals.com, your online home for college football. Situation, 3rd down and 10 from the 43-yard line inside of 3 minutes.
And normally with Gene Chizik, this means they're going to try and come after Graham Harrell with more than their front 4. This is where they try and heat him up and bring extra guys. Can they defend in the secondary?
They come with 5. Harrell looks, fires, complete. First down, Texas Tech. Joel Filani down to the 22-yard line.
See, the Texas Tech receivers read the blitz, and they know where they're going to go with him. Filani turns Deion Beasley just slightly, just enough to get inside and make the catch. But this is why the play works. The protection. They brought 5, and the offensive line handled everyone. Graham Harrell able to step into the throw for a 19-yard gain.
And we saw Beasley picked down by Baylor's Sean Bell.
And then Nebraska went after him. He's a true freshman. They'll continue to go after him until he is able to stand up.
Boy, they didn't even let him try to snap it. Usually teams get up there in a hurry.
The question I have is what's under review?
What's under review? It was a clean catch. Well, this is going to be interesting. So we're going to let's take a look at it and make sure he did catch it. Well, he had it and then went to the ground. What do you think?
He's down, but he'd already possessed the ball. As the ball came out late. I understand. Okay. So I don't get myself in a whole lot of trouble here. I get it, but at the same time, we're getting close to where we're hurting our guys on the field and their ability to call a football game.
That's right.
Because right now they are so hesitant and so jumpy about everything that happens. It's like, well, let's take it to review. Because they need to have that affirmation. The confidence that they need to have may not be there.
Well, he clearly has it.
To me, it's a catch, a fumble, and he possesses the ball. He recovers his own fumble. I think that's what they should rule. I just hope that we can continue to go ahead and play and not kill the great momentum this game has already.
And that's what happens. And Tech has all this rhythm going right now, and then you have this, and it kind of stops the game on a call that...
After review, The pass is incomplete.
Oh, my.
Third down.
Oh, my. What did they see that we didn't?
I need to, Walt Anderson is the new director of officials at the Big 12, and he's a terrific guy. I have a feeling that he and I are going to have a conversation this week because they're going to have to explain this one to me. Ball's caught, 1 foot down. Here comes the other.
Then it comes out.
Then it comes out. Should be a catch, a fumble, and a recovery. Not an incomplete pass, in my estimation.
Now, I wonder if Mike Leach would re-challenge it and say, hey, well, let's take a second look at this.
See, I don't think, he can, but I think it's a waste of time.
And they also
going to go back and do that.
And well, they also had already moved the chains.
So you got to go back to the previous line of scrimmage,
which was the 43. Well, this is a downer. Had great momentum, and then boom.
Well, right now, what they need to be doing if you're Texas Tech, you've got to have your offense in their huddle, preparing to run the next play.
Ball was ruled incomplete. 4th down.
See, now you can't spend any time going back over it. You got to continue to move on. But in my estimation, they didn't get that one correct.
Greg Sager, what do you have for us?
Well, Claire Gossman, the referee, came over and he put the headset on. He called up the booth upstairs, and he said, "What on earth are we replaying? What is under review?" And they go, whether or not it was complete or incomplete. And then, of course, he got the ruling that it wasn't. So Charles was talking about not having confidence for your calls. He didn't even know why they were reviewing that.
Yeah, because he didn't understand why. I'm with you, Craig. He could not figure that out. It looked like a completion, a fumble, and a recovery by the receiver.
Well, fair catch is being called for by Texas, but it'll scamper into the end zone. Well, John Lewis is the man who made the call down. He's the head replay official with Richard Wittenberg up in the booth. But I think Mike Leach, I guarantee his video guys are sending a tape to those guys right now up to Dallas. Log on to SI.com now for the latest news, score, stats, analysis, and more. For more on college football and Stuart Mandel's power rankings, go to SI.com today.
And now the Texas offense needs to take advantage of the gift that they were just given.
Exactly. Jamal Charles joins Colt McCoy in the backfield. McCoy has some time, looking to go deep, and he is going to be dropped back at the 12. Jake Ratliff, the sophomore out of Lutton High School.
And Jake Ratliff will get the kudos for the sack, but he needs to go back and high-five everyone who was in coverage on this play, because there was plenty of time for Colt McCoy to find a receiver, but there was nowhere for him to go with the football. Limas Swede covered well by Chris Parker. Underneath, Darcel McBath. On the opposite side, no one there.
Loss of 6, 2nd and 16 from the 14. McCoy, pressure again, intercepted. Could be 7 for Tech, and it is. Fletcher Session with the interception and the touchdown.
It was a cover 2 look, 2 deep safeties, 2 short corners, linebackers dropping into zones. He thought Jamal Charles was going to hook up where the hash marks were. Instead, he went outside. The ball thrown inside. Fletcher Session became the receiver, not Jamal Charles. Fletcher Session running like a fullback in high school.
He's a former soccer player. He's been nursing a little ding knee. Honorable mention Big 12, and Colt McCoy throwing the interception, only his 4th of the year. And the extra point is good. Now, when you talk about great Texas Tech coaches, you have to mention the name of a good friend of ours, Spike.
And there's Mack Brown doing the best coaching he can, keeping his young quarterback into the ball game, right?
Yep.
Not chastising him, letting him know his mistake. And hey, I've got confidence in you, young man. Let's go out and get it done.
Well, when you talk to some of the former players, including somebody like Vince Young, he says, listen, Mack Brown is more than a coach. He's a father figure to all of us. He's not afraid to put his arm around you and say, Don't worry about it. Let's get this thing going. That's exactly what we saw with Colt McCoy there. 21-0. Tech shocking the number 5 team in the country.
Hey, what is it about us in doing games that involve the University of Texas, where we see them get down big twice with Oklahoma State in the last 2 years? A few weeks ago, they were down 10-0 to Baylor in the first quarter. We've learned never to count out the Texas Longhorns. They won all of those games.
Well, Mack Brown knows that you can never count out Texas Tech. In fact, he asked Spike Dykes.
Call, and we still have to figure out a way to win.
Well, so far, Mack Brown is right. The run didn't get a whole lot, maybe a couple of yards on the play. Colt McCoy, right now, he's the young redshirt freshman quarterback. You can see he's got 1 interception tonight. Do they change anything just to make it simpler for him? Because he's down 21-0. You don't want him to press, I would think.
No, you don't want him to press, but I don't think there's anything to change. He just made a mistake on the throw. Continue to run your offense, but what they really need to do is challenge the guys up front. Because right now, Texas Tech's defensive front is whipping the vaunted offensive line of Texas.
Final 35 seconds, second down and 8. Not much going on there. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage for Selvin Young. And they're going to give about a 2-yard pickup on the play. This Texas Tech defense, the things they've concentrated on under Lyle Sentence, a couple of things. Alignment and leverage in all formations. That's the one thing they wanted to be really sure of tonight.
Being able to read their keys on every play. As they say, when you see a certain alignment, read certain keys. What is the offensive lineman doing? That will take you to the football. And right now, they're running 11 red shirts to the football on every snap.
And that's the way the first quarter is going to end. Graham Harrell throws for a couple of touchdown passes, 191 yards. The defense scored. Tech lead.
Can't imagine why.
No clue.
You don't think that was deliberate on the Tech people's part, do you?
We'll go out on a limb and say probably. 3rd down and 7 for Texas from the 23-yard line.
Tech is going to show blitz here. I don't think they will. I think they're going to show it and back off and play coverage.
McCoy now moving out of the pocket, throws across his body, gets the first down up to the 32-yard line. Quan Cosby on the reception. That's his 5th catch already tonight.
See, it's a double-edged sword because you show the blitz and then you drop back into coverage, but then you don't get anyone to get pressure in the face of Colt McCoy, so he has plenty of time to find a target. If you rush at him and now you spring free and go man coverage, you worry about it becoming a big play with the secondary that Texas Tech has. They don't run as well as others.
This time he tries the other side. Another complete up to the 35-yard line. Jordan Shipley. His 2nd reception of the evening. Fletcher Session was on the coverage.
See, I think that Texas's run game, because it's so much sideways, kind of plays to the strength of the defense of Texas Tech. Because they're a little bit lighter up front, but they move well and flow to the football. So I would not be surprised if Greg Davis changes up at some point and runs a little bit of I formation and tries to get a little more downhill on them up front.
2nd down and 6. Selvin Young looking for some running room, tries to get the corner, doesn't get it. Got back to the line of scrimmage and probably +1, and we have a penalty flag thrown.
Selvin Young, the ball carrier, tackled by number 49, Joe Garcia, flag on the play.
Joe Garcia coming up from that strong safety spot for the tackle.
Face mask. Defense. 5 yards.
You know the good thing that Texas has going for it, despite being down 21-0, is that they have put a lot in the bank with Colt McCoy, meaning he's earned their respect by his toughness, leading them back against Nebraska last week in the snow. All of those things have gone into to where they know that they've got a quarterback that they can count on in the huddle. So I don't think their confidence will lag this early in the ball game. Plus, if you take in the last few seasons, with the comebacks they've had, they know how to get that done.
And you saw the 6 TD passes versus Baylor that was on TBS. McCoy scrambling. He's dangerous. We saw this in Nebraska. Gets the first down as he crosses the 50 down to the 46-yard line. You talk about tough. I tell you what, last week he took a couple of shots by Adam Carricker and the black shirt defensive.
There, he delivered. and a big victory last week in Lincoln.
And that last one was a touchdown pass. Now McCoy looks right, throws left, overthrown for Limas Sweed. That'll bring up a second down and 10 from the 46-yard line.
He had pressure in his face. I think that was number 51, Deke Bake, who has really played well in recent weeks for Texas Tech, a former defensive end. He's moved inside to tackle, and he's been very consistent. You and I watched him on tape against Iowa State, making nice plays, moving the line of scrimmage back when he's in the ball game.
Now Shipley's in the slot, second down and 10. Sticking with the shotgun. Charles. And he just bowls his way over the 35 to the 34. That's good for a long run first down. If anybody thinks this Texas team is down and out, forget about it.
Yeah, and that looked a little bit more like a downhill run. Watch how they do it with the zone read. They pull Studdard 64 and Tony Hill 79. And Jamal Charles, from the side he came from, simply came over, got the ball, and then went back to that side following those two offensive linemen. It's similar to the old counter tread that the Washington Redskins made famous.
Tony Hills, by the way, is 6'6", 300 pounds when he pulls. That's a lot of man. That's a lot of man.
That'll tilt the field.
And first and 10 from the 34. A simple pass up to the 30-yard line, complete. For Michael Finley, his first reception of the night. He had 4 receptions versus Nebraska, and it's been fun to watch this redshirt freshman from Diboll, Texas, grow as a tight end. First couple of games, I'm not sure he knew where he was on the field or supposed to be, but it seems like he's progressing. He's getting a pretty good relationship with Colt McCoy.
He is, and it paid off last week with 4 catches at Nebraska, and he feels like they're developing the type of relationship they're hoping that it will evolve into what Vince Young had with David Thomas.
Yes.
They're all Big 12 tight end last year.
Second and 7. Selvin Young, right side, got the first down and then some as he runs his way down about the 17-yard line. That's just flat-out strong running by Selvin Young, the senior out of Houston, Texas.
And you know the difference is? Watch how Texas controls the offensive line on this play. See, there's no penetration by Texas Tech. That allowed for a gap, and then Selvin Young found the corner before he was run out of bounds by number 23, Anthony Hines.
Pick up a 14 on the play, and we've got a timeout by Texas Tech's defense. They want to talk about it. 12:09 to play in quarter number 2. Texas Tech leading the Longhorns. First down and 10 from the 17 for the Longhorns.
You know, they haven't found Limas Sweed yet, right there.
And they go from the I formation. Tech is right there to meet Selvin Young. We thought that just maybe they may go a little more I formation tonight.
You know, they dabbled in it a little bit last week against Nebraska. Greg Davis, offensive coordinator, took time to tell us, yes, our whole running game is the same whether it's the eye or the gun. That's Greg Davis right there calling the next play. The only thing that's different with the eye is that you get the fullback ISO. You get the isolation for the fullback leading. And look what we have right now, the I formation.
Well,
I think play action here, though.
Lyle Senline, the big center, says, I love it, going nose to nose. Now they do play action. Has a man. Dropped. Incomplete. Intended for Limas Sweed. He thought he had it. Darcel McBath got the hand on it. The pass was there, Charles.
Well, I think that this was a great call by Greg Davis because when he showed I formation, your natural instinct is for the Tech defensive backs and for the line is to think they're going to run right at us. But Darcel McBath saves the touchdown with a tremendous effort coming in underneath and knocking it away before Limas Sweed can tuck it away.
I think Sweed thought he had 6.
I don't think he sensed McBath there, and he didn't pull it in.
Chris Obanaya in the backfield along with Selvin Young. Straight drop, McCoy looking, has a man wide open. Touchdown, Texas, Nate Jones.
Seems to me that 2 guys covered Jermichael Finley and left Nate Jones all on his own. Chris Parker, number 17, was there, but he passed him off as if he expected there was help behind him. He went out to his lane to cover the flat. Easy one for Nate Jones.
Good pass by Colt McCoy. Good catch by Jones. 11:18 to play in the first half. The extra point, Ryan Bailey, the hero of last week's game, tacks on the extra point, and Texas is on the board. Through them, the Red Raider fans loving what they see so far. 21-7, 11:18 left in quarter number 2, which is usually the best quarter offensively for Texas Tech. They only average 11 points in the second half. They got to get their momentum and continue it here on this drive.
I think this is a big drive for Texas Tech because they can't continue to dwell on what happened with the call, the controversial call. They took away another big drive that they had going. They've got to come back and run the same offense that we've seen that's put 21 points on the board.
And they'll get it 1st and 10 from their own 20. Let's get an update from our student. All right, thanks, Mark. You can see what both teams do in the second quarter. And the rest of the game, Texas much better. Woods and Kobe Lewis now in the backfield. Harrell going deep across the middle. Caught inside the 45. Still on his feet. Hicks down to the 38-yard line.
We talked earlier about the strength and the size of these physical receivers, and Jared Hicks, just a little bit of a push inside on Terrell Brown, a 40-yard hookup from Graham Harrell.
Talk about getting the momentum back. 6 plays plus 18 yards already against this Texas defense. 1st and 10 for the Longhorn 40. They come with the blitz. Harrell reads it, dumps it out to Woods. Spins as he gets inside the 35 down to the 33-yard line. Graham Harrell read that the fact that there are a bunch of Longhorns coming after him.
And that was a 30-yard plus touchdown pass last week against Iowa State when he read the exact same blitz, threw it out to the flat to Shannon Woods, and he took it into the end zone. Texas's ability to run well kept that from being a bigger game.
Down to the 33, 1st and 10.
Look at the yards they've laid out. 229 already tonight in the pass game.
2nd and 3, check that. And that penalty flag is thrown. And I think Texas may have been a little bit offsides. You know, what happened after that Missouri and Colorado game, there was a lot of dissension on this Texas Tech team, and Mike Leach was not pleased about it. And he saw it really kind of early on in the year when we talked to him. He wanted to do something that bonded the team.
Offside with contact. Number 80, defense, 5 yards, 1st down.
So he picked up a game.
Yeah, one of the games that most of us have played as children, Foursquare. And look at how these guys, you know, they compete, they bond, they argue good-naturedly. But you know the biggest thing? They stayed in the locker room and hung out with each other. And that's what Mike Leach says was lacking with this team. Remember the old Red Sox, 24 guys, 24 cabs, going your own way all the time? The best teams, you always hear about them spending more time with each other, and they've done plenty of that in the recent weeks.
Well, he learned that the little things tend to multiply, and that's what happened after the losses. All the little pettiness got to him. Now Harrell has a man inside the 15, down to the 14, Joe Filani. That is his 2nd reception of the night as we're closing in on 9 minutes to play in the 2nd.
And this is a route we've seen all evening from Joel Filani, the slant. And he cuts it a little bit short because he saw that Marcus Griffin was coming over from the strong safety position. And Graham Harrell read the exact same thing. And they hooked up for 17 yards. Ball thrown in a perfect spot where only the receiver was going to get it.
Now they can get a 1st down. It's on the 11, 1st and 10.
Splits are even bigger in the offensive line now.
Woods dips the head, gets down to about the 8-yard line. Tim Crowder with his 2nd reception, or 2nd tackle. How important is it for Texas Tech to answer that touchdown by Texas?
Well, that's what we talked about at the beginning of the drive, right as the kickoff occurred. We said how important it was because they've had trouble in the second half, scoring points Tech has, but you want to answer right back after Texas comes down and puts one in the end zone, and the Tech offense has responded quite well. Got Filani and Johnson on the near side right here.
2nd down and 7. Woods Up the middle, inside the 5, breaks his way down to the 4. Michael Griffin on the stop. His 3rd tackle of the evening.
You know, we've seen from them early in this ball game. We've seen them try to throw the fade route to Jared Hicks to the wide side. All right. We also have seen Hicks coming in on the slant, Morris cutting off of him for the touchdown. Here, don't be surprised if you get the slant in route, maybe Hicks to the wide side, faking the fade and coming inside.
Joe Filani near side, Hicks far side. 3rd down and 2. Woods leans forward. Not sure if he got down to the 2. Looks like they're going to mark it at the 3. It'll bring up a 4th down and 1.
Very surprised that they would run that play there because it's not their personality to mash it inside against the number 2 rush defense in the country. And if they're coming out with a field goal here, that surprises me even more. Mike Leach wants to have the points on the board. I get that totally, because that's a gamble on 4th down. But I was really surprised on 3rd down he did not throw the football.
We've known Mike Leach a long time. He is probably in a lot of pain that he's going to kick this field goal.
He can't believe that he sent him out there. Did I just do that?
Alex Reyes is the holder.
I think it's a good move, though. Get the points.
Get the points. And they do tack on 3. And Graham Harrell's got his guys pumped up. And Texas Tech answers Texas's touchdown with a field goal, 24-7, 6:51 to play in the first half. Cosby and Young set to receive the kick by Keith Toogood. Kicking into a little breeze, it's going to be a short kick. Young, right up the middle, tripped up as he gets close to the 25-yard line. The big question for Texas, where is Limas Sweed?
You know, in a big game last week, Ron, Georgia Tech was unable to get the ball to their number 1 receiver, Calvin Johnson, against Clemson, and they paid for it in a 31-7 loss. Thus far tonight, Texas struggling to get the ball to their number 1 receiver. They thought they had this one, but Darcel McBath makes a tremendous play to knock it out of his hands. Let's see if they might want to go quick screen, hitch route, anything to get the ball in his hands and get him going.
Well, Chris Parker goes out one-on-one with him on the near side. Charles in the backfield. Sweed used as a decoy. Pass is complete. Willie Pittman on the reception. That is his first catch of the evening. We saw his breakout game against Baylor a couple of weeks ago. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 6.
The thing the Tech's defense needs to continue to do is make Texas grind it out and force them into multiple play drives. They can't afford to give up big plays that break off huge chunks of yardage in one pop.
Charles breaks into the secondary. Still on his feet. Gets close to the 35-yard line.
He wants it, and he wants to live up to the image of Roy Williams.
Sags, I have a question for you after this play.
Juan Cosby wide to the right. 1st and 10 from the 34, inside of 6 minutes. McCoy looks, steps up, puts his head down, gets hit, still goes as he gets over the 40 up to the 42-yard line.
Craig, my understanding is that when Limas Sweed wanted that number, he talked to Roy Williams about taking that number, as well as the coaching staff, because they told him what he'd have to live up to. Is that true?
Yes, it is, and Roy Williams had no problem with it, but the coaching staff said, are you sure you want to wear Roy Williams' number right now? And he said, yep, he's my idol, and I want to be just like him.
Well, my other question is that a green Texas cap Roy Williams is wearing?
Yeah.
I didn't know it was St. Patrick's Day here.
It's
Hey,
Irish.
remember, it's Halloween weekend.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
2nd down and 3. Charles, left side's got the 1st down as he gets over the 45-yard line. By the way, Limas Sweed, touchdown pass in 6 straight games, which ties
Roy Williams. And I think, what is he, 3 off of Roy Williams' single season mark as we begin tonight?
And he still has a lot of football left. 5 minutes to play in the first half. If you just joined us, Texas Tech jumped out to a 21-0 lead. A couple of Graham Harrell touchdown passes, an interception return for a touchdown by Fletcher Session. Texas has answered, and then Tech came back with a field goal. That's where we are now. McCoy feeling a little bit of pressure. Deep out pass, incomplete, intended for Billy Pittman. Our 1st and 10 line is brought to you by Napa.
Texas is not operating against that's Billy Pittman going to the sideline, getting some attention there. They'll need him back quickly. But they are not operating against a Texas Tech defense that's throwing a lot of new things at them. It's not like they're looking up and seeing a disguise coverage, something exotic. Mostly what they're seeing is cover 2, cover 3, 3 deep zone, 2 deep zone, and they're going to try and bracket Lima Swede from time to time with a corner and a safety.
And now Lima Swede wide to the right. McCoy looks back, throws the screen, backside. Finley, running room, over the 35, still on his feet, tiptoeing down the sideline to mark him out at the 29-yard line.
And what a tremendous block he got downfield from his offensive line. Looked like Tony Hills able to use his big body and nimble enough to get downfield. Watch coming at you. Finley gets the ball on the screen, but out in front, 79 in white. Throws the shot. There it is. He's down on the ground. He threw the first block. Casey Studdard, number 64, actually blocks 2 players from Texas Tech. Watch Studdard, 64. There's one and a second one.
Wow.
The offensive line for Texas now establishing themselves in a big way, a 26-yard gain.
4:44 in the half. Cosby wide to the right. McCoy keeps it. Great fake. Has a man wide open. Touchdown, Texas. Jordan Shipley. Colt McCoy sold that from the beginning.
He did, but watch Jordan Shipley, number 8. He sells it well with the out and up and then goes inside Antonio Huffman because Antonio Huffman ran to the out. A terrific job of knowing when to break the rules of route running. He jumped him on the outside. He said, go ahead. Went inside, and Colt McCoy had plenty of time to find Jordan Shipley. Their fathers, college roommates at Abilene Christian.
I'll tell you what,
and Shipley.
Shipley had first 2 years, knee problems. A very talented young man. He was the recipient of a lot of Stephen McGee passes. Now the quarterback at Texas A&M while at Burnett High School. So Texas pulls within 10 with 4:35 to play in the half. Teams over 200 yards total offense. Texas Tech with 254. All of that coming through the air. Texas with 212. But the big numbers. Texas Tech still leads it by 10, 24-14. Colt McCoy with the touchdown pass. He's got a couple tonight, along with 1 interception. 22 touchdowns from McCoy, 4 interceptions on the year. Hunter Lawrence will kick it away.
Now the emphasis shifts to the Texas defense, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
They've got to show an ability to slow down Texas Tech, which to this moment they have not been able to do. Tech has really had their way offensively with Texas's defense tonight.
Shannon Woods, Eric Morris back to receive the kick. Tech answered the last touchdown by Texas with a field goal. Kicking with the wind, that'll go into the end zone. Texas Tech will take over 1st and 10 from their own 20. Let's take a look at it.
Right now, you vote one way. Let's see how the game unfolds. You may vote another.
That's exactly right. Mack Brown wasn't real pleased with the first BCS ranking that came up. Moved up a little bit this past week. With USC moving, and if Texas can win, they'll probably move up even more. Harrell, big rush, holds on to it as long as he can, gets rid of it to Robert Johnson. Up to the 26-yard line. The touchdown once again by Texas.
You know, one of the things that you notice about a lot of pass routes is that you often have a number of guys in the sight lines of the quarterback. So right there you've got 1. There's Shipley, right? 2 and 3. That way the quarterback has 3 targets, all in his sight lines. He picks out the right one. Boom, touchdown. That's a Don Coryell staple when he's running his Air Coryell attack at San Diego State and then on into the pros.
And 2nd and 3. Texas Tech has not had much luck running the football. Before that run, they were -1 on 7 carries.
Listen, they're running the football just to keep Texas honest. I mean, they know their big plays have to come from Graham Harrell's right arm. That's their offense. That's their personality. If they pop one big, so be it. That'll be great. But that's not what they're counting on. This is just enough to keep the Texas defense honest so they can't run right to the receivers.
Well, even like, Mack Brown was telling us earlier this week, he said they lull you to sleep and then bang, they hit you with something like a run play. 8 rushes, 0 yards for Texas Tech, but this is their bread and butter. Amendola gets close to midfield. Graham Harrell, just a sophomore, 6'3", 197 pounds. Got booed during the Missouri game when we were here. Fans didn't like it. He was replaced by Todd, but he has bounced back effectively these last 2 weeks.
And he's replaced by Chris Todd for a couple series at the Colorado game also. And after that game, Mike Leach said he made a mistake. Looks like Rashad Bobineau, starting linebacker, is down for Texas. But what Mike Leach was saying is, I made a mistake because it's like a pitcher. Sometimes you got to let him go through some tough innings in order to come out on the other side.
Here's Craig Sager.
Well, Rashad Bobineau, I do not think is injured. He lost his shoe and was telling everybody he lost his shoe. And one of his teammates pushed him down to the ground and said, "Get down so we have time to put your shoe on."
But that's, you know something? That's good coaching by the teammates.
That's
because otherwise you're out there running around with one shoe and they don't have to take the time out.
That's good. That's good. Good pickup, Sags.
Listen, as a former player, I remember my old D coordinator, Ken Donahue, saying, "Charles, I don't care if your head comes off, pick it up and run off the field. We got to save those timeouts."
That's what Oregon State in the last minute of USC today. Graham Harrell trying to set up the little slip screen, and he does to Fulani. Fumble! Texas has it at the 40-yard line. And we have a penalty, and it might be a face mask to go along with everything else.
And wouldn't you know who came up with the ball? Aaron Ross.
Aaron Ross.
He has been Mr. Turnover in the last 4 to 5 games for Texas.
Well, he's forced 7 turnovers dating back to Oklahoma game. Last 6 games, forced 7
After
turnovers.
possession, personal foul, grabbing the face mask, number 9 on the red, 15 yards, first down.
Boy, this play looked beautiful. Little inside screen. Look at the wall in front. All the offensive linemen getting downfield. But the ball was popped out. Looked like Scott Derry, number 33, popped it out. Aaron Ross, the recipient. There's the face mask by Robert Johnson, trying to make the tackle on Aaron Ross after the turnover.
9 fumbles the last 3 games prior to tonight. Texas Tech's Mike Leach's offense has lost 6 of those. They've had problems with fumbles. And you can see Texas on turnovers, 2nd most in the NCAA.
And it's time for Mike Leach's defense, Lyle Sedensich, the defensive coordinator, to assume that pirate persona that Mike Leach talks about. All right, they need to scuttle Texas's offense right here before the half.
2:22 and a half. McCoy's going for the big tater. Swedes got him. Touchdown, Texas. His first reception of the night, and it goes for 6.
And you just have a feeling at this point that the aggressiveness comes out of Texas. Great field position after a turnover, and I put the emphasis on the Tech defense because they have to know that. They have to feel that going on the field. Their responsibility is to hold Texas out before the half. They didn't live up to it on that play. Terrific throw from Colt McCoy to Lima Swede.
And Roy Williams likes it. That took 7 seconds. The extra point by Ryan Bailey is good. And with 2:15 to play in the half, 24-21 is our score. Tech leading by a field goal. Here's Mark Fine. All right, Mark, pretty good day of football today. Big win for Oklahoma State. Big win for Oregon State. Congratulations to Coach Mike Riley and Coach Gundy. Of course, we'll have Coach Gundy against Texas next week right here on TBS. Hunter Lawrence, they took his red shirt off a couple of weeks ago prior to that Baylor game, wanted him to kick off because of Greg Johnson and the growing problems he's had.
The Tech offense must be concerned right now with a Texas defense that'll be charged up. When we talked with Gene Chizik, the defensive coordinator, he said sometimes turnovers just come in flurries. And they just got one. They're going to be eager to force another one.
Well, Texas Tech has 15 touchdown drives under 2 minutes this year. Number 2 in the NCAA. Let's take a look at the route again by Lima Swede.
Listen, anyone who knows us knows that I like to see offenses attack after a turnover. It's exactly what Texas did. And that was a simple 9 route, a go route, where Lyman Sweet just went straight down the field, ran past everyone and said, Colt, just throw it out there, my man. I'll take care of the rest. Texas only down 3 at this point.
Now, they wanted to get him one-on-one. That was one of the keys coming into the game, and they did with Chris Parker. He got no help. Inside of 2 minutes, Texas Tech takes over.
They can't go into a shell, but ball security is big here.
Oh, you don't want to get too fancy-schmancy out there. Jared Hicks gets close to the 30-yard line. They're going to mark it right at the 30-yard line. Gets out of bounds, 1:46 to play in a half. We told you about their scoring in the second half, only 11 points a game. Mike Leach has to lead at halftime. 43-2, but only 3-24 when they trail.
I don't think much more needs to be said with that stat, does it? I mean, when you look at that kind of statistic, that tells you how important it is for Tech to go into the locker room in front.
This time they slip it to Woods. Skips over 1 tackle, has got a first down, and he gets out of bounds right at the 43.5-yard line with 1:39 to play.
The message from the Tech coaches to their offense, I'm quite sure, is simply, Texas has not stopped us. We stopped ourselves by coughing up the fumble.
Yeah.
The whole first half, we've gone up and down the field. So don't let one fumble discourage you. Keep running. Just run our stuff. We should be fine.
Because Filani had a lot of room to run. They were inside the 20 when he fumbled. 1st and 10 now at the 44. Harrell looks, throws, complete. In Texas territory down to the 48-yard line. Robert Johnson leans forward with 1.5 to play. Clock is rolling. 2nd down and about 3. And he comes off slowly.
Remember, Tech's idea of a great drive is to end it in the end zone as the clock hits 000. They want to bleed it down as well as score.
Mike Leach's philosophy is a touchdown's the best defense you can have.
Hard to argue with that.
Here comes a rush of 5. Incomplete. Pass intended for Grant Walker, the junior out of Pflugerville, Texas. Clock stops with 61 seconds to play.
That was very well covered by Aaron Ross.
No, let's talk about Aaron Ross. We've got a second here. This is a guy that's definitely the Thorpe leading candidate. He's a Nathan Basher kind of player. He's been Johnny on the spot for this Texas defense.
And playing as well as any defensive corner in the country, according to his head coach and his defensive coordinators.
Texas showing blitz on 3rd and 3. Here they come. Harrell reads it. They slip it down to the 45-yard line. Good for a first down, Robert Johnson. That'll stop the clock with 56 seconds. 7 catches in the ball game for Johnson already in the first half.
Boy, as he emerged out of Mike Leach's detention hall.
Well, you got that right.
Left him home for the Colorado trip, says he wasn't living up to his responsibilities, missing weight workouts. Essentially told him, listen, it's up to you whether or not you play here or not anymore. And he's bounced back.
Clock rolling now with 45 to play. Harrell's got time. Throws it up for grabs. It's going to be incomplete. Looking for the flag, and there it is. Aaron Ross, just talking about him. He's going to be the culprit. Filani was the intended receiver.
At first blush, a bad throw turned into a good play for Texas Tech.
Now, you always talk about locate the ball.
Hard for DBs to do when they're running with their
Pass
backs.
interference. Defense, number 31. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Watch the pressure. All right, that's Drew Kelson, number 4, in the face of Graham Harrell. Forced a poorly thrown ball. Now, Aaron Ross doesn't know where the ball is. He just plays through the receiver. And I'm going to say this. My understanding of the college rule is that there is no face guarding. You just can't have contact before the ball gets there. That's what I think Aaron Ross was called for.
That puts the ball down to the 30 with 38 seconds to play. Here comes Texas. They bring 5. Harrell reads it, going deep into the end zone. Has Hicks. Caught! Touchdown!
You can't ask ask for a better matchup because Jared Hicks is working against backup corner Brandon Foster. And by the time he gets his head turned around, he has nothing left to make a play on the ball. Jared Hicks knew where the ball was and used his strength to make the play at the end. Graham Harrell, naturally excited. Texas Tech really has not been stopped on offense in the first half.
6 catches, over 100 yards for Jared Hicks, 7 for 75 for Robert Johnson. But Graham Harrell, another touchdown pass. And you can see the all-time touchdown receptions at Texas Tech, 1 away from Mark, or for college, I should say.
Look at this. See, Hicks knew where the ball was the whole time.
Yeah.
By the time Brandon Foster got turned around, he was a count and a half too late. And Jared Hicks is just too strong at that point, and he comes down with it. Just think of what the senior year could have been for Jared Hicks if he had not missed the first 3 games due to NCAA and academic questions.
Remember we said 15 drives under 2 minutes? 16 now.
They came into the game tied for second in the country in that statistic.
With Nebraska and Clemson. And now they saw that 3-point lead stretched back to a 10-point advantage with 24 seconds. How disheartening is this for Texas? Here you have a great series. You pull within 3, and then boom, you get beat.
Well, what's happening is that their defense continues to give up big plays, which is not normal for Texas. This is not something that they're used to having happen to them. They thought they'd establish a little bit of control. Texas Tech, undaunted, comes right back and strikes again.
Well, we still have 24 seconds left, though. Good, puts the foot into it. This is going to go about 3 yards deep, and Texas will take a knee. They'll have 19 seconds to work with.
They might just go ahead and run the clock out here.
Yeah.
Remember, they get the ball, right? Don't they get the ball to start the
Yes.
second half?
They won the toss and deferred.
So right here is not the time for heroes, I don't think. You go ahead, tuck it in, go to the half, and realize you're very much in this ball game.
Anybody who's watched Texas on our air the last couple of years,
Yeah, there's
they know the word comeback.
no counting them out. Let's see what they decide to do.
Well, Colt McCoy is going to try the little shuffle pass.
That's your staple, though. You
Yep.
try a screen, you try a draw. If it breaks big, maybe you go for something later. But instead, you know, you get a little first down there. 7 seconds on the clock. Is that enough room to try for something deep? Let's see what Mack Brown's thinking.
And the clock is running. We'll get one more play off. This will be the final play, unless there's a penalty. Selvin Young down the sideline, still on his feet, tiptoes out, and that's the way the first half is going to end. So Texas Tech opens up a 21-0 lead. Texas made a game of it, pulled within 3, but then Tech strikes late in the first half to open up the margin to 10. Here's Craig Sager.
You think you're bad, but oh how sad. You're in the biggest fight that you've ever had. But don't let the blue bunnies fool you. Don't mess with Texas. Don't mess with Texas. All right.
Welcome back to TBS Saturday Night College Football presented by Orbitz. We're set to start the second half. Texas Tech leads at 31-21 along with Charles Davis. I'm Ron Thulin. This Texas defense, they've already given up more yards than they had any team this year and more passing yards. Haven't stopped Texas Tech at all.
Not at all. Graham Harrell had 368 yards passing last week at Iowa State. He has 364 here at the half. The Texas defense has really struggled to contain this passing attack. Texas has outrushed them, but Texas Tech doesn't care about that. The turnover situation, Texas needs to force a lot more with the explosion plays. 10 plays of 15-plus yards for Texas Tech in the first half.
Well, as we mentioned, Texas won the toss. Beginning of the game, they defer to the second half, so they'll have the ball to begin quarter number 3. Selvin Young lets it go over his head. And they'll have it 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Too Good has done a nice job keeping the ball out of reach of Texas tonight. Colt McCoy, not a bad first half. 16 of 21, 205 yards, 3 touchdowns. His longest one was 45 yards. time left. It's only a 10-point lead by these Red Raiders. McCoy runs the option. As they go to the I formation, pitching it back to Selvin Young. Craig Sager had a chance to talk with Mack Brown before the start of the second half.
Well, Coach, we're used to impressive comebacks by Texas. What do you have to do to complete this one?
Well, Craig, what we've got to do, number one, is keep our composure, believe in what we're doing, because we have been here before 2 years ago at Oklahoma State, last year at Oklahoma State. But we need to get something this first drive, and then we got to do something to stop them. They're as hot as I've ever seen on offense. That quarterback can't miss, so we got to knock a ball down, knock some ball loose, and we just got to keep playing on offense.
After Colt.
Well, he said keep the composure, and you expect that from a Mack Brown team. Colt McCoy throws it out into the flat. Pass caught by Linus Swede. And it's his second reception. His first win, of course, for the 45-yard touchdown.
Nice defense by Darcel McBath, number 7. The free safety getting into the gap on the quick screen to Linus Swede. If he's not there, Swede has an alley to run upfield.
You got to remember one thing. When Texas is on the road, we saw it last week against Nebraska, they are aggressive in their play calling. And I would expect that to be the case tonight.
No reason they shouldn't be. Once they got on track, they had a good first half. Just the Texas Tech's offense has been, as Coach Mack Brown said, as hot as he's ever seen.
McCoy over the middle, incomplete. Pass intended for Swede. So Swede has 2 shots here in quarter number 3. But Texas is going to be forced to kick it away.
And this brings the crowd right back into it. Remember, we talked about alacrity in the first half, that they must play that way, with alacrity, with enthusiasm, to keep the crowd into it. That's exactly what has happened. And that score right before the half, that was huge for Texas Tech. Because Mack Brown always talks about 91% of the time the team that scores right before the half wins the game. I still don't know where he got that stat. I'm still researching it. He used it with his team at Oklahoma this year, where they scored right before the half. They went on to win the game. Tonight, Tech has that stat to their advantage.
And there is possible break as Amendola bobbles it, but he recovers it at the 35-yard line. Much better effort by Trevor Gurley. His first punt at 21 yards. This one much better. But here comes that potent Texas Tech offense again. 364 yards in that opening half. As Charles mentioned, no yards running the football. That's the most allowed by Texas this season, and we still have 2 full quarters to play.
Yes, and they've got to find a way, as their coach articulated to Craig Sager, to slow Tech down, to create plays. They've done a good job of forcing turnovers all year. They'll need a bunch of them here in the second half.
Harrell's going to change things up, drops back into the gun. Tech rushes 4. Has some time across the middle. Passes complete up to the 50-yard line. Eric Morris on the reception. Statistically, from a point standpoint, the third quarter is the slowest and the worst for Texas Tech. They want to change that tonight.
Now, with the tempo they're going at here, they've gotten a boost from their defense to start the second half by forcing a 3-and-out against Texas. And thus far this evening, Texas has not gotten enough pressure on Graham Harrell with just a 4-man line. So he's able to stay back in the pocket and find open receivers.
So he punted once tonight. Dangerous pass deep into the flat. Hicks got it. Scoots out of bounds in Texas territory down to about the 46.5-yard line. Jared Hicks now with 7 receptions, over 135 yards and a touchdown.
Gain of 4 on the play brings up the
They're loving what they're getting from Jared Hicks tonight. He had 6 catches last week. That was a season high because he's just getting back into the swim after missing the first 3 games due to NCAA and academic questions.
6 receivers have caught passes tonight for Texas Tech. Texas moving around on defense. Here they come with the blitz. Harrell trying to run away from it. Being chased, throws it into the ground, incomplete. He got outside the tackle. The only 2 people near the ball, Brandon Jones was one of them and Gabe Hall was the other. Lineman.
Intelligent play by Graham Harrell. You get outside the tackle box, where the tackles normally line up. As we look at the sacks, Texas averages nearly 4 per game, 0 this evening.
Offense. Lost him down.
Oh, no, they are calling it. I didn't see the flag come in.
You know, the only reason they would call this, ball didn't cross the line of scrimmage on the throw.
You're right.
He got outside the tackle box because he's got to get outside of here where the tackle boxes would be. He's outside of that, but where the throw is, the ball didn't get past the line of scrimmage. So that's why you get the intentional grounding and the loss of down.
So now it's 3rd down and 17.
Remember, not much has daunted this Texas Tech offense at all this evening.
4 for 7 on 3rd down conversions tonight for Texas Tech. 3 wide receivers to the left.
Can they get one-on-one to the bottom side with Robert Johnson, number 9?
Look out the pressure. They're going to be their first sack of the night. Back at the 32-yard line, Graham Harrell goes down. That's only the 13th sack allowed by this Red Raider offensive line.
Best season Mike Leach has had in protecting the passer, I believe, was 2003, when they gave up an average of 2 sacks per game. They're about on that pace this year with what they're giving up. Somewhere in that neighborhood, that should go down as a coverage sack. Secondary did a nice job blanketing the receivers.
1 sack out of every 35 pass attempts. That's not too bad. Pretty good average.
Considering how many times they put it in the air, it's an excellent average. Texas looking for some big play to spark them. Could it come in special teams?
Wobbly kick. Back at the 25-yard line. Aaron Ross. Being surrounded. He's going to come back. He's got a wall for him. Over the 25. Over the 30. Over the 35. Penalty flag is going to be thrown. Charles, you saw that happening. You were waving your arms already.
Well, as long as that play stayed alive, that just brings the specter of a hold or a clip in the back. The reverse field just makes it very difficult on his own blockers.
Holding 21. Return team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Takes a good return and moves it back. Texas Tech is sacked for the first time tonight by the Texas defense, but they still lead by 10. Welcome back to Lubbock, Texas, where Texas Tech holding on to that 10-point advantage over the number 5 team in the country, 31-21. Texas with the football, 11:20 to play in the 3rd on their own 25-yard line. From the eye, McCoy feels a little bit of pressure. Pass clock up over the 40-yard line. Jermichael Finley. That is his 3rd catch of the evening. One of the things we haven't seen Texas do tonight is run the ball and break big runs. But that's a problem they've had since the Rice game.
It's been since Rice that they've had a run of 20 yards or more. They have not had that. And they're looking to create those types of plays to take some of the pressure off of the offense. They've really had to grind it out a little bit more this year than what they're used to.
That was good for a first down. 1st and 10 from the 42. McCoy steps up. Has some running room. Splits the defense. Still on his feet. Tripped up at the 40-yard line. Last week against Nebraska, we showed how decisive he was in running the football. He wasn't afraid to tuck it and go.
Not at all. And Vince Lombardi used to tell his running backs when he was the coach of the Packers, not just to run to daylight, but to run to win. And on this run, that's what Colt McCoy did. Found daylight. And ordinarily, a quarterback, right, you're looking for some green to get down. He was trying to get through that gap and continue downfield. A 17-yard gain.
That's the biggest run of the night. This time, pressure again. Scrambling again. May have been over the line of scrimmage. Throws in the end zone. Incomplete. I'm not so sure, Charles. He was down at about the 39-yard line when he let that ball go.
Yeah, he really flirted with that line, didn't he?
I think he was real close to letting it.
And I think he may be fortunate that no flag was pulled from their pocket. Meaning the officials, of course.
You know, talking about him running the football, Greg Davis was telling us earlier that they would like the quarterback to get him 2 new sets of chains every game, meaning if they have to scramble, try to get at least 2 first downs every game.
Say his best running has been from their option attack. Vince Young was a zone read runner.
Selvin Young breaks through, past the linebackers, up to close to the 30-yard line. Penalty flag comes flying in.
That was a late one from the back judge, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Personal foul, face mask, number 56, defense, 15 yards, automatic first down.
Yeah, Kellen Tillman right there trying to make a play on Selvin Young. He makes the tackle. It's a little bit too much mask. You know, that's supposed to just be the masked rider, right? At Texas Tech.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, took the mask right off.
But you never tug. You know, you're not supposed to take the mask off the old Lone Ranger.
Yep.
Off they go.
Tug out what's his name's cape. There you can see penalties. 6 for Texas Tech. And there's the masked rider. 70 yards and penalties for this Texas Tech team.
A lot of I formation this half.
Down to about the 18-yard line. We questioned whether or not there should have been a flag for Colt McCoy crossing the line of scrimmage. Let's take a look at this.
Line of scrimmage is the 40-yard line. Let's see it when he gets out of the pocket. See where he is when he throws the football.
Oh, yeah. He got lucky.
That's close, isn't it?
I think he's over the 40.
Yeah, it's certainly he is straddling the 40.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like coaches used to tell me all the time, I never want to break any rules. I just want to crowd them. They crowded the line of scrimmage on that one.
Second down and 11 after the loss of 1 from the 17. Straight ahead running. Selvin Young inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Gain of 3 on the play.
What's interesting to me is how much Greg Davis has gone to the I formation here in the second half, because when we spoke with him, he didn't sound like he was a huge proponent of it. He wanted to use it more as a change-up. And he's trying to convince his players that I formation doesn't mean that allows us to get nastier up front and run downhill. We can do it out of both formations, but it's a mindset. When you show I formation, that's like announcing to the world, here we come.
That's right.
Let's fire out and block someone. Maybe he's hoping to use it to spark his offensive line.
Well, they need 7 for the first down. Here comes the pressure. McCoy trying to get away from it. Gets rid of the first wave. Looks for the end zone. He's got it. Touchdown, Texas. His second rushing touchdown of the year.
The belief level in Colt McCoy, the trust from the team continues to rise because of these types of plays. In obvious trouble and distress, finds his way to the end zone and gets them out of a tough situation. Texas on the board to start the second half.
He knew exactly where he was and where the defenders were. You could see him looking to the right.
Play is under review.
Oh, my goodness. Now they're trying to decide if he stepped out of bounds. Well, let's
Take
see.
a look as he gets to the corner. Now he's out running Kellen Tillman, number 56. Right there, that's a tough one. He may very well have been. That would not be conclusive to me from that angle, but I bet you this one gives us a great look.
Look for that left foot right
there.
Looks like he hit the white part, didn't it?
That's a tough one right there, yes. If they do bring it back, I can understand why. Okay? I would understand that call if they bring it back to the 2-yard line.
And what was the ball across the goal line before that? You can't tell there.
You can't tell. I think if you're going to say he stepped out,
yeah,
you probably put the ball, maybe you split the difference, put it on the 1.
Another angle.
See, that's not conclusive to me.
Yeah.
From there, I thought our last shot would be the one that I would agree with if you wanted to overturn the call on the field.
Well, we blew the fumble call, so.
No.
We're 0 for 1 on those.
No, we didn't blow that.
Okay.
I know I'm biased.
Yeah.
But no, we did not. Now, if you're Texas, you need to plan like they're going to put the ball on the 1 or the 2-yard line and have your team ready to roll. If you're Texas Tech, you have to plan like they're going to come at you, and there's going to be another play run. You don't want to stand around and be so uncertain, and all of a sudden, oh, okay, we got to snap to it again. You have to plan like the next play will be snapped that way.
So we just saw Colt McCoy looking pretty confident on the far side, as is Mack Brown.
Okay, guys,
There he
let's
is.
go now. Let's go. Sorry, let's go. I understand reviewing. Let's go.
I smell coffee perking down there.
After review, the player was stepped out of bounds at the 2. The ball is sparked at the 1 yard line. 1 yard line, first and goal.
All right.
No argument from me on that one because I thought there was enough there to say that he stepped on the sideline. But the ball's on the 1, just what we thought. It split the difference between the 2 and the goal line. Now it's first and goal. And frankly, if I'm Texas, I'd like to line up and mash it into the end zone.
Yes.
As opposed to throwing it. Yes, it counts the same. There's a mindset that goes with running over someone and feeling like you dominated them on that drive than there is to feel like, oh, okay, you had to throw to get it.
Well, they're going to line up in the eye, Charles, just what you thought.
Luke Tiemann, number 49, is the lead back.
Selvin Young's behind him. Nope. If we have movement, now this changes everything if it's against Texas.
Offside defense with contact. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
Now you mash it, Charles, don't you?
They were going to mash it anyway.
Yeah.
Now you definitely mash it. Yeah, they're into the neutral zone before the ball snapped, defensive line. But this is what Luke Tiemann is on the field for, number 49, to be the lead blocker. That's him, the fullback.
Young is in the eye. McCoy lost the handle of the football.
He'll be fortunate if he retained it, because right now there's a lot of scrambling going on in that pile. The guy who had it first may not end up with it last.
Yeah, it's got a scrum down there. Oh, Texas got it.
Well,
Well, he's breathing a big old sigh of relief, isn't he?
when you run from the gun predominantly, sometimes these things happen when you go under center.
Good point.
Because you don't have the same timing that you've worked on.
Well, look how high that snap went, though, Charles.
Well, Lyle Senline, listen, you know how much emotion is pumping through Lyle Senline right now?
Yeah.
Because he knows the guy's about a half inch away from his nose. He's got to snap it and get into his block. He tries to get it back there as quickly as he can.
Young, up over the top, touchdown. His 5th rushing touchdown of the year, and Texas pulls now within 4.
Watch the surge up front. Texas Tech does a decent job with it. There's Tiemann, number 49, blocking on Darcel McBath, number 7, the free safety. And Selvin Young, as you called it, partner, up and over the top for 6 points for the Horns.
And Colt McCoy, nice drive put together by that young man again. 7:51 to play in the 3rd. Ryan Bailey's been perfect on the extra points tonight. And that one splits the uprights. 7:51 to play in the 3rd. It's a 3-point Texas Tech lead. Football temperature today was in the 70s, probably in the 60s right now. Capacity crowd, standing room only in Lubbock, Texas, and we've got a good one on hand. 31-28. Texas Tech leading the number 5 team. Shannon Woods from the goal line. Corralled as he gets up over the 15 to the 17-yard line. College football on TBS next week.
Better get our rest.
Worst field position for Tech to start a drive. No 3-and-outs yet. Pass caught. Hicks close to the 24-yard line. Pick up about 6 on the play. How about that, though? No 3-and-outs, Charles, for Texas Tech.
That's amazing considering Texas's forte, besides creating turnovers, is forcing 3-and-outs. I mean, look at what they've done for the season. 46% of the time they do that. Tonight, 0 for 8. Craig Sager observed that from the sideline and passed that on to us. Great observation, Sags.
We'll call it 2nd and 3. Pressure coming from the middle. Harrell throws it away.
Well, he's a quick study, isn't he?
Yes. He goes, I got to get this one past the line of scrimmage.
He learned, didn't he?
Yes.
As part of a sophomore quarterback's maturation.
Bobineau's the one that put the pressure on him, coming from that middle linebacker spot. Mike Leach using the hand signals as he usually does.
Texas has 4 defensive ends. But I take that back. 3 defensive ends on the field right now with Roy Miller a normal tackle, trying to rush the passer here against Graham Harrell.
3rd down and 3.
Showing like they're coming.
You see the Texas Tech linemen point out. Here they come. Harrell reads it, throws it. 1st down, Texas Tech over the 30 to the 32-yard line. Robert Johnson. No 3 and out again.
And how similar was that play to the one that Texas forced the fumble against Terrence Nunn from Nebraska last week, remember?
That's right.
Because if Terrence Nunn holds on to that ball, Texas more than likely loses that game. They're out of timeouts, and Nebraska can run out the clock, but Ross forced the fumble. This time, Johnson catches it, absorbs the hit, and keeps the ball.
Todd Walker goes wide to the left for a set of downs for Texas Tech. Lonnie in motion. Got it. Looks to the outside, has the stiff arm up, continuing to press. Does a great job of picking up a couple of yards. Close to the 40-yard line, almost an 8-yard pickup. That was pure effort. Our 1st and 10 line is brought to you by Napa. And they're going to need about 2.5, 3 for that.
Wide receiver sweep. They ran that a couple times last week at Iowa State. Joel Falani ran for a total of 12 yards on 2 carries, but what effort he showed on that run.
Second and 3. Pass intended for Falani.
Now the last 3rd down call that we saw was the completion to Johnson. Texas blitzed on that play. Ordinarily, Gene Chizik and Dwayne Aquina don't blitz very much in this type of a situation. They usually get to, their break point is around 3rd and 7 or more. They'll come with pressure. This time looks like they're showing 4 and going to play coverage.
Here they come. They go 4. Harrell pump fakes, throws outside, incomplete. Shouldn't be a flag because the pass was not catchable.
And that's exactly what the side judge, I believe, was motioning. He immediately went with the signal, hand over his head, saying ball's not catchable, no penalty to be called. See, what Mike Leach would say is, well, how do we know?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. How do you know it's
How do you know? Because he didn't have a chance to catch it.
He'd have to have some serious hops to catch that.
He would, but it's a tough call because if you're knocking a guy out of the way, of course he can't catch the ball. But the official was very definite about what he saw and signaled it right away, which is all you can ask for, was conviction in the call, and I think that he did that very well.
Alex Reyes has had a good job putting the ball tonight, 42-yard average. Nope, whistled before he kicks it away.
Delay of game, a little too much time maybe.
Delay of game. Offense, 5 yards, 4th down.
So we'll back it up a little bit.
It's only his 2nd punt of the game, isn't it?
This is 3rd coming up.
This is 3rd?
Yeah.
Might have had to wake him up over there. Say, you got to go out there and punt. Now you haven't had to do it much tonight. He's used to the offense, moving it downfield.
You know, I talked to Alex yesterday. We saw him around the locker room, had a chance to spend some time with him. This is a big young
That's
man.
a well-built young man.
Well-built guy who's going to play in the NFL, I'm sure. Said he shortened his steps, holds the ball a little bit longer than he had in the past. He wants to give his gunners a chance to get down there.
He's not as big as that young man I saw from Virginia Tech the other night.
Oh,
you see the size of him as a punter?
That's another big man.
Where's Lou Groza? When you need him, I know Lou Groza was a kicker and a former offensive tackle.
Look how high this one goes for Reyes. Ross at the 32 signals the fair catch, and that's where Texas will get it. 33 yards on the kick. Texas has the football, trailing by 3. AT&T Stadium, over 52,000 on hand. Texas Tech 2-1 at home this year. Their only loss to Missouri snapped an 11-game home win streak, and right now they lead the number 5 team in the country, 31-28, along with Craig Sager, Charles Davis. I'm Ron Thulin. Glad you're with us tonight. College football presented by Orbitz here on TBS. 1st and 10 for the Longhorns on their own 31-yard line. From the I formation, straight ahead, smash mouth running the football with Selvin Young. Well, fans, now it's time for our half-lap trivia question. And the question is, who holds the NCAA record for career punt return yards? We'll have the answer coming up in just a couple of minutes. And we think he may be here tonight.
I think he's here in attendance tonight.
That was Jamal Charles, by the way, on the last carry. And he's having a very successful pro career, we can say.
That's our guess.
2nd down and 2. Still on the ground, close to the 45-yard line. Jamal Charles got the first down. Craig Singer on the sidelines.
Well, Ron, remember that first half after Colt McCoy threw the interception that made it 21-0 in favor of Texas Tech. We saw Mack Brown call him over to the sidelines and talk to him. I asked him what he said. He goes, I said, Colt, you're trying too hard. I know you grew up near here, your friends, your family are here, but you're putting too much pressure on yourself. You play for Texas. We have fun. We have tradition. Go out and enjoy the moment.
I love it. His girlfriend actually goes to Texas Tech. She brought her whole family to the game. They're at our hotel.
Yeah, Grandma and Grandpa at the hotel, weren't they?
Selvin Young's got some more. Jamal Charles running room over the 35 down to the 34.5-yard line.
An explosion run as defined by Texas. Any run 12 yards or more. An explosion pass, explosive pass, 16 yards or more. But what formation did it come from? The I formation. And I know that Greg Davis knows a heck of a lot more football than I do as an offensive coordinator, but the mindset of his team, they like to run it downhill, a 20-yard run by Jamal Charles.
Well, they want 9 explosion plays a game. There's one of them. 4 minutes to play in the 3rd. Texas now just grinding it out. Selvin Young gets the call.
Let's go back to the first half. Our observation was that sideways runs helps Texas Tech's defense because they're allowed to flow to the ball. You're not really getting hammered out of the way. This half, we've seen a lot more I formation, and I've seen bigger holes chopped in the front. I think the Texas Tech offensive line loves the mindset of running out of the eye.
I think they do too.
Allows them to line up and mash, and they feel better that way.
Cosby wide to the left, right to the right, Sweet wide to the left. Little play action, looking for Cosby. Caught at the 21-yard, no, incomplete, they're saying, at the 21-yard line.
Tough throw. Decent coverage on the play. There's Antonio Huffman helping break it up. His brother Antoine Huffman was a starter at Kentucky. Led them in passes broken up during his career there with the Wildcats.
Antoine's even here, twin brother.
Twin brother.
These are 2 kids that know what community service means. Both of them very active at their respective schools. 3rd down and 7 now for Texas at the 32.
He's throwing it here to be off of play action, I would think, with the tailback.
And that would be Selvin Young. No, he's got it. Up to the 25-yard line.
Close.
That'll be right at the 1st down Napa line.
That'll be very close. And right now, Mack Brown and Greg Davis are talking to each other. Are we going up if it's 4th down? And if so, what do we want to run? That's the communication that's occurring with them right now.
Now they're saying it's a 1st down.
But that's how you have to think and communicate. You have to have all that covered. Okay, no problem. We've got the 1st down. What are we going to now?
We told you that Texas Tech statistically does not score in the 3rd quarter a whole lot. And that could cost them.
But here's your opportunity to run play action and try and strike right now if you so choose.
And we've got a whistle. We're going to have a timeout called.
This play is under review.
Oh my goodness gracious.
The only thing they can be reviewing is the spot.
Do you think, we don't want editorial,
No.
but we will, but do you think that this will make referees hesitant and gun shy to make calls now?
Will make? It's already happening. And it's too bad from my perspective, because I think the people who do these jobs are top notch and do a great job.
Absolutely.
I think they've always done a terrific job. Are they going to miss some calls? You and I both know one thing. We miss calls up here. And we have perspective and replays.
Yeah.
And we're asking them to make split-second decisions all the time. We have to let them do that a little bit more. I'm not saying dump replay. That's not what I'm saying. But we make it very difficult on these guys on the field. I think we make it almost too hard for them because I think they do a good job.
You don't want to get to the point where everything is replay.
And
you know, did he put his knee down at the 25 or 23? I mean, you know, you're talking a 4-hour game then.
You're asking too much. there's a flow that has to occur
Well,
during a game.
Yeah, and technically everything is supposed to be replay.
Yeah, technically it is.
Do it quicker then. If you're going to do it quicker. But these 3-minute breaks we're getting here now.
It's tough. This is tough.
It's not fair to Mike Leach and Mack Brown squads.
No, this is tough. You operate with the premise everyone's trying to do the best that they possibly can. I think there'll be a lot of discussion about how they can do it better and allow these gentlemen who operate the game on the field to really feel like they're still in control on the field.
Well, we have time, so let's take a look at our New York Life stat of the night. And that stat is about rushing yards by half. Texas Tech is perfect. 0 in the first half, 0 in the second half. New York Life has been protecting families for over 160 years. Now that's a winning stats. And they're still looking at it. How long are they supposed to take? I mean, no, seriously. I mean, was it a minute and a half?
I thought it was 90 seconds.
Player's knee is ruled down. The ball is short of the 25-yard line. 4th down.
But see, that changes everything for you. You think you've got a first down. Now you've got to go back and recalibrate what you're going to call. It's a key 4th down for you now. Defensively, you got to gear up and think a little bit differently. This is where you're going to see studies and poise from both sidelines. They have a lot to handle right here on this call.
Well, ever the gentleman, Mack just keeps on coaching. Fourth down and 1.
That's what you have to do. Now, earlier today, I saw Oklahoma on a 4th and short take a shot downfield.
Yes. Didn't work.
I'm not sure they do that here. I'm thinking that they're going to run the ball and try to get this first down.
Well, they've got Charles in the backfield, but Colt McCoy just puts the head down. That should be good. Well, the one official is running over.
As long as they don't review it.
Somebody pulled the plug on that machine, will you? And it's first down the linesman. You can see where our Napa 1st and 10 line is.
I thought he had plenty of surge on that play to get the first down. Listen, the Napa line never lies.
No, Napa's good.
Good surge up front because all you're doing is burrowing. See that? That's the center. Lyle Sendline. See the progress he made? All Colt McCoy had to do was just follow his center, and he had the first down.
New set of downs inside of 2:35 to play in the 3rd.
Look for play action here.
Looking to run. The ball is pitched. It's loose on the ground. Jamal Charles covers it up back at the 34-yard line.
I thought with that field position, before the field really condensed on them, they might take a shot at the end zone. They tried to run option, which is what Colt McCoy runs better than the zone read that Vince Young used to run. Remember out of the shotgun where you can fake it inside and then keep it or give it off to the running back. This time they coming down the line option. They disrupt McCoy and force the ball on the ground. Good job by Jamal Charles getting on it.
2nd down and 19 inside of 2 minutes to play in the 3rd. Running, ball's loose again, and Texas Tech has it at the 25-yard line. Selvin Young coughed it up. Well, there's turnover. You said they needed 4. Now they've got 2.
I think they're halfway home to my number. Let's see if he actually had full possession. Yes, and he ends up bumping into his offensive lineman as he's trying to put the ball in his left arm, and that knocked it free. Probably still needed 2 hands as he got through the line of scrimmage. See the turnover story there.
And remember last year, he had a little fumble problems also. Selvin Young did.
Well, sudden change. Texas defense knows they have to go on the field and try and put out the fire. Texas Tech would love to get untrapped again on offense.
8 fumbles in the last 3 games for Texas. They've only lost 2 of them, though. They're 3-1 tonight.
And that one is on Selvin Young. That's not one that was really forced.
Ramiro looks incomplete off the hands of Filani. Wide open at the 25. Filani also with a fumble earlier in the ball game.
They've run these crossing routes to good effect throughout this ball game. This time, Joel Filani, as you said, just took his eyes off the ball, trying to run before he tucked it away.
Minute and a half to play in the third. Texas Tech holding on to that three-point advantage. Harrell. And the deep out. Caught. Hicks. First down.
Before the half, it really sent Texas Tech in on a high.
Hicks had 178 yards receptions coming into the night. He's got 144 already tonight. Harrell going deep. Has a man open. Good defense by Texas closing on him. Michael Griffin did a great job of blocking that pass away. Intended for Joel Filani.
Wow. This is what they call man free. Everyone's locked up in man-to-man coverage except for the free safety, which is Michael Griffin. And he came all the way from the middle third. That's him, number 27, to help make a play on the ball to help out his corner, and knocks it away. Now you see why his teammates sometimes call him Superman, because he appears in places you don't expect him to.
2 passes broken up by Griffin tonight to go with 9 tackles. They run a little screen. Woods looking for running room. Penalty flag is at the 35-yard line, and then another one comes in at the 40.
That's almost like, yep, we got it, and yeah, and just to make sure,
we're going to get to it.
I got it too.
So we have some laundry laying on the field.
Possibly could have 2 on the play.
There are 2 fouls. Holding, number 63 offense. Clip, number 74 offense.
Rylan Reed did the clip. And Mike Leach doesn't like it.
So what do you say, 63 and 74? Manny Ramirez, your All-American candidate, offensive guard who didn't play last week at Iowa State. Happy to have him back in the lineup.
He's the leader in the locker room for this team. Well, here's the verdict.
Clipping, number 74 offense. Holding is declined. 15-yard penalty, second down.
Well, that'll back him up a little bit with 1:10 to play.
I say, sir, I vehemently disagree with your call.
Now, he should have some good arguing skills, since he does have his law degree.
You know? Excuse me, counselor.
Well, there's
excuse me, Mike Leach for the offense.
Probably presents a pretty good argument.
I guarantee you, if they gave him enough time, he'd put together a great one.
Todd Walker goes wide to the left. 2nd and 22 for Texas Tech. 70 seconds left here in the third. High snap. Harrell corrals it. Looking. Throws it into the bench. Wisely done.
Nice pressure there. Was that Aaron Reed, number 95?
Aaron Reed coming in.
Excuse me, Aaron Lewis. Aaron Lewis, boy, he's had a terrific season all the way through. Last week may have been his best game at Nebraska. Remember the one play where he sacked Zach Taylor, forced the fumble, and recovered it all in the same play?
All in one swoop.
Chad Hennings is his idol. Wears number 95 for Chad Hennings, a former Air Force and Dallas Cowboys star. His father actually married Chad Hennings and his wife Tammy. And he talks to Chad once a week. Talk football and life.
Walker and Filani wide to the left. 3rd down and 22. Harrell's got time. Pass incomplete at the 45-yard line. Great coverage by Aaron Ross. You talk about anticipating plays. This is what he did.
And watch how aggressive he was to the ball, because Robert Johnson has his body between the ball and Aaron Ross, but he came right over the top and chopped through his arms to force the incompletion. Because if Johnson catches it, it's very close to a first down.
And Texas Tech, this will be their 4th punt of the night for Alex Reyes. Aaron Ross standing back at his 30. Here comes the pressure. Reyes gets it away. Wobbly kick. Ross calls for the fair catch. At the 37-yard line. That's an oops.
And it looks like he may get off the hook on it.
38 yards on the kick. Well, let's get Texas Tech now with the Miami Dolphins. And he is in the house tonight, as they say.
Listen, Wes Welker may very well go to the Pro Bowl this year.
That's great.
Because of what he's doing. And not only is he doing it as a return guy, he's been integrated into their offense as a receiver, which they didn't expect to have happen. One of our colleagues, Maceo Grant, made that observation in one of our meetings a few weeks ago. We talked about the tradition of Texas Tech and how well Wes Welker's playing.
Cosby gets up to the 40-yard line. Pick up about 3, maybe 4 on the play. Final 25 seconds to play here in the third. Colt McCoy has done a nice job tonight. Over 200 yards passing, 3 touchdowns.
What I'm curious about is if Texas takes the lead, how will this crowd for Texas Tech respond for their ball club?
Well, they'll get it away. Final play of the third. On the ground, just trying to go with that left side, Jamal Charles. And that's the way the third quarter will end. He gets up to the 50-yard line. The start of the fourth quarter, Texas will be trailing by 3, but with a 1st and 10 right at midfield. We'll be back to Lubbock right after this. 31-28 along with Craig Sager, Charles Davis. I'm Ron Thulin. Texas 122 yards, 1 touchdown in that third quarter. Texas Tech managed only 48 yards and no points in that third quarter. And the fans on hand, including that very old Texas Tech fan.
But his games really age you, don't they?
Yeah, really.
He was 20 years old when he came in tonight.
You made a great point. You can see the total yards. You made a great point, Charles, during the break. Let's see if Texas tries to make a statement here by just a little smash mouth football, try to take the heart out of Texas Tech. McCoy fakes to Young. Look, steps up in the pocket. Pass incomplete. Intended for Limas Swede. Swede with only 2 catches tonight.
If that one's on target, that's a big play for Texas. I think he got harassed just enough to throw off the timing. See how he comes underneath? That's a route that Texas Tech has run with great success all evening long. That one just out of the reach of Limas Swede.
And we had a penalty. It was a face mask call.
How many face masks is that tonight?
I don't know.
3 or 4? And it's a big one, too. It's not the 5-yard variety. It's a 15-yard personal foul.
Texas Tech, for the second game in a row, will probably go over 100 yards in penalties.
Maybe it's... that's a tough one. I didn't really see it. Here's a chance. They're going solo set, 1 back, 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers. Usually bounces you up, run or pass.
Well, they run it left side. Inside of 13:50 to play in the ball game. Walt Charles. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 5.
Good situation here for Greg Davis as a play caller, because you can do whatever you want on 2nd and 5. The way they're running the football, he can think about being in 4-down territory if he would like. And this opens up his options as a play caller, again with the solo set.
Charles alone in the backfield. Pittman with a little movement. They give it to Charles. He is going to be stacked up back at the 30-yard line. Lose a yard on the play.
That was well defense. Kellen Tillman, the linebacker, playing into the gap. Keontae Dawson takes on the tackle. Kellen Tillman comes into the gap with a perfect tackle. And Jamal Charles, way to step up in there.
Brings up a 3rd down and 4.
Remember the last 3rd and 7, Texas, how they went I formation and ran the lead draw. This time they go back to the gun.
Cosby goes wide to the left. Limas Swede near side.
Could have him one-on-one on the near side.
That's what it looks like it's shaping up, and Colt McCoy is going to call the timeout. That'll be their first of the second half. We'll take a timeout with them. Texas trying to score. Texas has won 19 straight Big 12 games, 12 straight on the road. They've lost only 4 of their last 107 Big 12 road games. They're trying to regain the lead with 13 and a half to play.
Swede right here.
McCoy throws, caught. This will be 6 for Texas. Quan Cosby with a touchdown.
This is a nice throw because it's against his body. But look how he gets his shoulders square so he gets plenty of zip on the throw. So if you're a youngster and you want to play quarterback and you wonder how those guys get, it's not just because they have strong arms. It's mechanics. He gets outside, gets his shoulders squared up, and rifles that one in there for the touchdown. Well done.
4 touchdown passes for Colt McCoy tonight. 256 yards. Just think, the last 2 times he's been on our air, 10 touchdown passes. And the extra point is good. Texas has their first lead of the ball game, courtesy of the redshirt freshman quarterback. The Longhorns of Texas have taken a 4-point advantage. Let's see how not only the team responds, but the crowd responds for the Red Raiders here as they find themselves down. From the 7. Eric Morris takes a wallop.
Wow.
Now let's take a look at our Hyundai drive of the game. It is what we just saw by Texas. 63 yards, 5 plays, took just over 220.
What a strike from McCoy to Quan Cosby. Thought they might try and isolate Lima Swede one-on-one on the near side of their formation. Instead, he rolls to the field, 2 receiver side. Hits Cosby on the out. He carries it home.
Only 1 play.
Offside, kicking team, 5-yard penalty. Ball will be re-kicked.
Well, we're going to try it again. For Texas Tech, though, their offense, Charles, this is really important because they had 10 plays plus 15 yards in the first half. So far, 1
in the second half. Predicated on the big plays coming from their spread-style offense. Not getting them, the Texas defense stiffening in the second half so far.
Mac Brown says we don't make excuses. We're dinged up, but he learned a long time ago you don't make excuses for injuries.
You don't talk about him. He said he learned that at North Carolina. He had some guys injured. He had a young team. They got beat by Florida State. He was talking about their injuries and how young they were. And he said a reporter pointed out that Florida State's roster actually was younger than his roster in North Carolina. He said, you know, I got to rethink that. When you start talking about injuries, you start talking about the youth of the team, you're giving your team an out. You're giving them a reason not to succeed. You know, if things go wrong, go, well, you know, coach said we were hurt and we're young, so we don't need to worry about it. He's going to let us off the hook. He doesn't do that anymore with his ball club.
Woods and Morris back. It's going to be Eric Morris. He'll try it again from about the 8. Puts his head down as he gets over the 20 up to the 21-yard line. Let's check in with Mark for the remaining 13:05.
I don't want to hear from him anymore.
Where's Ernie when you need him, right?
Mark, fine, I love you, but I don't want to hear from you anymore until that score changes the way that I want it to. Otherwise, we're good.
We're good. Shannon Woods will go from over center. Harrell has some pressure, steps up in the pocket, pass is caught. Great job on the reception at the 34-yard line by Joel Filani. That'll be his 4th catch tonight.
Another physical reception from a Texas Tech receiver. Look at that. Absorbs a big hit. Is that Marcus Griffin?
Marcus Griffin.
And makes the catch. 12 yards on that one.
I'll tell you what, these Texas Tech receivers are going to spend some time in the jacuzzi tomorrow. They've taken some punishment from the secondary of Texas. Harrell looks left, decides to throw over the middle, caught up at the 43-yard line. Danny Amendola. Our 1st and 10 line is brought to you by Napa. And Tech only needs a yard to cross that after the 9-yard pickup on the Harold Amendola connection.
It would be a big mistake for Texas to think that now that they have the lead, that they've taken all the fight from Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Not at all.
433 yards for Texas Tech tonight. They had the most against a Texas team this year at halftime. Looking, throwing across his body. First down, Texas Tech at the 49-yard line. Adrian Reese, his first reception of the night. The true freshman out of Longview, Texas, and only his second catch of the year.
We just saw the graphic a play ago about what Graham Harrell has done in the first half and the second half. But remember early in the game, we were talking about how he used his feet and his vision to get himself into a better position to complete a throw downfield. We just saw it again on that play. Always kept his concentration downfield, moved to a better throwing lane, and completed the pass.
Another set of downs for Texas Tech at the 49-yard line. A little run just to keep people honest. Shannon Woods picks up a couple on the play. Clock nearing 11 minutes to play in the ball game.
Mike Leach used big splits on that play and looked like they had Texas moved out, covering the flanks and the middle was open, but the defense closes so quickly. They run so well on the defensive side that play looked like it was going to break big. You saw the rushing yardage there. They just did. They just go.
You just get the sense, too, that Mike Leach has one bag of play back from his bag of tricks ready to rock here. We're getting to that time. Harrell looks. Incomplete. Pass should have been caught. Todd Walker had to go right through his hands. Earlier in the ball game, we talked about our Orbit's fast and easy keys to the game. This is what Charles had for Texas Tech. We'll update them.
Yeah, we said they had to accentuate the positive and win the turnover battle. They're +2 right now. I said they had to get to 4. Only 1 sack allowed. Kept Graham Harrell upright in the pocket and go forth with alacrity. First half, 31 points. The second half, and you talked about it, partner. You said that they've only scored, they're only averaging like 11 points a game in the second half. Thus far tonight, they've been shut out.
On 3rd down and 6, this is important. Harrell's going deep. There's not going to be anybody there but a white jersey. It's going to be intercepted at the 10-yard line. Ryan Palmer has running room. Scampers over the 40-yard line. They'll put him down at the 42. His first interception. Ryan Palmer, a sophomore from Arlington, Texas.
Who's the receiver and who's the defender?
Exactly.
And a nice job by Ryan Palmer. Locates the ball, becomes the receiver, makes the catch. Now Jared Hicks has got to put him down. Or was that Adrian Reese, number 80?
I think it may have been Adrian Reese.
He doesn't get to him, picks up a block, gets upfield, and doesn't turn the ball back over with another fumble.
It was Hicks.
Now let's see if Texas decides to attack or mash from this I formation. They have good field position. Right after turnover previously, they went deep.
It's too bad because Texas Tech had a pretty good drive going. McCoy with a little fake. They're going for 6. Swedes out there, incomplete. Pass a little bit short. Antonio Huffman was on the coverage. Thomas Swede tonight. 2 catches only, but he does have a touchdown of 45 yards.
So he's had a touchdown catch in every game this year except the Ohio State game.
7 straight, too.
Right?
Yep, 7 straight, too.
And just because now it's 2nd and 10, it doesn't necessarily mean they throw the ball here.
They'll go from the eye with Selvin Young. He is going to be stacked at the 40-yard line. Colt McCoy has had an outstanding night.
He continues to grow and mature before our eyes. 4 touchdowns tonight, 2 away from tying the single-season Texas record held by Vince Young and Chris Sims.
3rd down and 11. Selvin Young now split out wide to the right. McCoy in an empty backfield, being chased. Has some time, gets away, looking for somebody. Throwing right down the middle of the field. Caught, dropped. Finley had it in his hand. Texas Tech covered up and swatted it away. Jamar Wall, the true freshman out of Plainview, Texas, I think got the hand on it.
And that was huge because otherwise it's a monster gain for Texas. And what Colt McCoy has done is tire out the Texas Tech defenders from chasing it. If this ball is complete, it's a big game. But Jamar Wall, the true freshman, goes right through his arms and breaks up the pass. Terrific job by Wall fighting on that play and preventing a huge gain.
Trevor Gerland is set to kick it away. This will be his 3rd punt of the evening, averaging about 33 yards a punt. Amendola back at his own 15. He's saying, get away from it. Everybody get away from it.
Get away from it.
And they'll down it at about the 18-yard line. 40 yards on the punt. Texas Tech with 8:54 to play will have it.
And give some credit to Lyle Sensich's Texas Tech defense. That was a big stop for them to keep it at a 4-point game.
Now let's see if he can dip into his bag of tricks. Sonny Dykes to his left. His dad, of course, was Spike Dykes. They got a pretty good system here going between those two. Fans getting a little restless. Harrell rolls, slips as he throws. Passes complete to Todd Walker. Here's Mark Fine with a little Tennessee up. Bring him up as Twinkies.
You know, that Mark Fine's a great guy. Always liked him.
Second down and 1. The quick look into Amendola. Breaks a tackle over the 35 up to the 39-yard line. Tech on the move again. Pickup of 12 on the play. Amendola with 5 receptions tonight. He's closing in on the century mark. 4 yards.
No quit in this Texas Tech team, is there?
No.
I mean, they are fighting and scrapping. They sense a great opportunity to do what they did here in 2002. Beat a highly ranked Texas team in the 4th quarter.
8:20 to play. But fumble. Ball is loose. Harrell covers it up.
We've seen 2 times tonight. Colt McCoy had trouble once. Graham Harrell. And when did it happen? Under center. Predominantly gun teams. You don't have the same timing with your center. And you're not taking the same number of snaps as most quote-unquote conventional offenses do.
3rd fumble tonight for Tech. They've only lost 1. Texas has had 4 fumbles. They've lost 2. 4-man rush. Harrell steps up, hit as he throws. Pass is complete. Close to the first down. Diving for the yellow marker.
Depends on where his foot stepped out on the sideline, but that's a terrific effort from Robert Johnson to get the first down.
Well, where they mark it, it's a first down.
Watch this. Makes the catch. Gets upfield, makes the move, and dives. He's knocked out, but he's not down yet.
Yeah.
I think that's a nice call by the officials.
Hurry up and snap it.
16-yard gain.
Hurry up and snap it.
Watch this. See, a lot of players, the one thing you have to be careful of is extending the ball, making sure you're possessing it the whole time and getting down so that the ground would cause the fumble. Because a lot of times guys are getting the ball knocked out of their hands when they're extending it in the wrong places on the field.
9 receptions, 98 yards now for Johnson, the former quarterback. Texas brings 5. Harrell out on the flat, passes caught down to the 40-yard line. In Texas territory, Danny Amendola again. And that is his 6th reception of the night.
And you mentioned Robert Johnson as a former quarterback. He was recruited here as a quarterback. You've also mentioned Mike Leach's bag of tricks. That could be the one.
I agree.
You know, if you're thinking about a trick play or something, maybe a double pass or something like that with Robert Johnson. Not that they need to go to it at this point. They're moving the ball quite well with their normal set of plays.
10 players have caught passes tonight for Texas Tech. We're going to measure this.
It was 9 last week at Iowa State.
Which makes you think that Graham Harrell's going through his progressions and his reads a little bit better than it did against Missouri and Colorado, for instance.
I think he's got a little more time to throw it, too.
That does
Missouri
help.
and Colorado, he's on his back a little bit more.
Well, you saw the measurement. 7:24 to play. Texas Tech beat Texas in 2002 right here on this field. They won in 98. They won in 2002. Will that 4-year increment continue this season? In 2002, by the way, Texas was number 4 when Tech beat them 42-38.
With the same number of problems on defense, a lot of guys dinged up.
Well, the officials are waving their hands. I think Texas Tech may be calling a timeout. Somebody may have done it from the sideline. I think Mike Leach would have done it.
Timeout. Texas Tech, first charge timeout.
they've used one of their timeouts, Texas has used one of theirs. We'll step aside, too, with 7:24 to play, and Texas Tech, huge win for them. Very difficult loss for Nebraska. 1st and 10 from the 40 for Texas Tech. They do the little shovel pass. It's going to be a first down, and then some. Shannon Woods leans forward over the 30 down to the 29-yard line. 11 tackles now for Michael Griffin of Texas.
You have to be impressed with the ability of Texas Tech's offense to get themselves restarted here late in the second half. You know, things had gotten ground to a halt for them for a while. After so much success in the first half, Texas takes the lead. You wonder about their heart and their spirit, and they came right back at the Texas Longhorn defense.
48 yards in that third quarter. 7 minutes to play. High snap. Harrell pulls it down. Still completes the pass, but it's going to be for absolutely no gain. Danny Amendola on the reception. He's got 7 tonight. That'll bring up a third down, or second down, and 10.
But that appeared that the snap came to the quarterback before he was ready.
Yeah.
It's almost like the center snapped it on a count quicker than the quarterback. Better get his chin strap buckled up.
Brandon Jones is the center. Took over that position in 2005.
And has played it with distinction.
Harrell likes that deep out pass, incomplete, out of bounds. Intended for Joel Filani. He thought he got one of the feet down.
Big time throw too. Manny Ramirez actually got away with one in the interior, holding one of the pass rushers. Let's see. Yep. Excellent call.
Good call.
Right on the spot. That was the head linesman there, Tim Crowley. All over the call.
That'll bring up a third down and 10. 6:20 to play in the ball game. I think it's 4-down territory now for Texas Tech.
I don't think there's any question, and that's not unusual for them.
No.
But no field goals here.
Texas has a bunch of guys on the line.
Did they run out of clock?
Run out of time. Run out of clock.
Delay of game. Offense, 5 yards, third down.
Unbelievable, Charles.
You know, we talked about this a little bit in our production meeting today. The idea of no huddle doesn't necessarily mean hurry up.
That's right.
So we see a lot of these no huddle teams that take forever and still run out of time. Just because you didn't huddle.
That doesn't mean you're fast.
That doesn't mean that you're up there just perking along.
And Mike Leach even told us yesterday, the margin of error against Texas is slim. Little things like that. Third down and 15. Texas brings 4. They go into coverage. Harrell looks, throws, incomplete. Intended for Filani. Penalty flag is thrown, though, at the line of scrimmage, and they may back him up even a little more. Now do you take a chance and go for it on 4th down?
Well, if it's another third.
63 offense, 10 yards, third down.
Well, you said Ramirez got away with one.
Yeah,
not that time.
Not that time. You win some, you lose some. But now you have to see what happens on your third down play because it's an extra 10 yards.
Yeah.
That last pass, they were trying to throw.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
Texas
declined
declines it.
It's a good job by Mac Brown because now he puts him in a tough spot.
Very
Do you go
much.
for it on 4th and 15, or do you punt and play field position?
They're going for it.
Well, there's a stunner. It's Mike Leach.
Yeah, 4th down tonight, 1 for 1.
See, he's wondering if he gets another opportunity.
And he may not have.
And he's going from under center. Oh, now he's going to back up to the normal gun.
Woods to his right. 4-man rush. The deep out. Got it. Where will they mark
Will they
this?
spot it?
It looked like he got over
close.
the 20, but they're moving it in front of the 20-yard line. Filani made the catch. That is not a first down if that's where the spot is.
According to our Napa line, which never lies, Texas will have the football.
I'm not sure about that spot.
And it was the same exact route that they threw on the third down with the penalty.
Previous play is under review.
Well, that's a good call.
See, I'm going to go out on that proverbial limb and disagree with you. I think they're going to have this spot correct. Because I think that where he caught the football and where he was tackled, Okay, right there.
Where's his foot?
See?
Oh,
He
you're
never
right.
gets it there.
Never gets it there. You're right.
He never gets that extra foot down. That's an excellent tackle by number 29, Ryan Palmer.
How about the ball?
Ball was he had his back to Ryan Palmer, so he wasn't extending the football. There's the hit. He never is able to come down with another leg. I think that they nailed this one. See?
Palmer did a nice job.
It's a great tackle. And the receivers, we've seen it all across the country. They love to get the ball out and extend it to try and get it farther down the field. He wasn't able to extend it that time because of the tackle by Palmer.
Here's
Look at him. But I think this is a good one.
I agree.
This is the time to do it.
The situation is this, 6:14 to play. Texas leads 35-31. They trailed most of the game. We'll take one more look at this.
And let's see which official makes the determination on the spot. Because you're trying to get essentially to the 20, right?
Yep.
See, I don't think he gets there. See, foot never comes down past the 20. Look at that. I think it's an excellent tackle. I think he should be a little bit short of the spot.
I think he had to get right on the 20.
And I don't think he got there.
Yeah. Well, here we go.
After review, the play stands as called.
So Texas will take over with 6:14 to play in the ball game. Good call by the officials. Mack Brown's squad now. Let's see if they go to the eye. They just power this ball.
Did you notice the language of Claire Gaussman, our official? He said the play stands, but he didn't say confirmed.
Right.
Could be inconclusive, could be whatever, but in any event, my humble opinion is that they got it right, and they had it right on the field when they made the call.
It's right at just about a foot over the 20-yard line. Now, one of the things the Texas Tech defense has done in the past, they haven't done this year, and that's forced turnovers, and they need one now.
This is their biggest stand, obviously, of the season, because they have to get the ball back for their offense without giving up points.
Jamal Charles just running it close to the 25-yard line. They'll mark it at the 24. Inside of 6 minutes to play.
And don't expect Greg Davis, the offensive coordinator of Texas, to go turtle on us here.
Yeah.
And duck everything in, and okay, we're just going to run it inside 3 times and punt. Defense was on the field for a while. They need a blow. He's thinking first downs, move the chains, and try and win the game by keeping it away from Texas Tech's offense. That's his goal on this drive.
Remember, Texas's philosophy, you win on the road because you're aggressive in play calling. Tech showing blitz. Texas keeps it on the ground. Fumble! Ball's loose! Still loose. Texas, they have it, and they do! Jake Ratliff comes up with the fumble.
Lead draw versus blitz. Runs into some traffic. There's the hit right there. Looked like Joe Garcia, number 49, their strong safety, one of their better hitters. And look at the reaction on the sidelines. But look at Mike Leach. Notice the concentration immediately to his play sheet to get his first down call in.
Harrell looking. Going deep, incomplete. 5 fumbles in the ballgame for Texas. They've lost 3 tonight. You said 4 turnovers for Texas Tech to win. They're 1 away from it. Would you settle for 3?
Settle for 3 if they score here.
There you see the turnover margin. The first 8 games -5 tonight, +2 for Texas Tech.
Those are the things they had to have to put themselves in a position to win the game.
But you got to take advantage of it.
Yes, 2002, Cliff Kingsbury led the drive that won the ball game, and then they got the ball back and finished it off with another drive and never gave it back to Texas. Can Graham Harrell emulate one of the all-time greats here at Texas Tech?
Harrell looking. Throwing it up for grabs, incomplete. That was a jump ball intended for Robert Johnson. Bobineau was on the coverage, and Bobineau was right with him on the jump.
And Robert Johnson almost took it from Rashad Bobineau over the top. When he first threw this, I thought nothing but trouble. But watch Robert Johnson compete for the ball. Look at that.
Yeah.
Almost took it from the linebacker.
3rd down and 10 from the 25. 4-point Texas advantage.
And it is 4-down territory because 3
Absolutely.
points means nothing to Tech at this stage.
Ball at the 24-yard line. Here comes the rush. They get it to Filani. Dips in inside the 15 to the 14. 1st down, Texas. Texas Tech.
Pass complete to number 8, Joel Filani.
Run the inside screen to Joel Filani, and look at the convoy he gets from the offensive line. Great wall in front of him.
Well, I think his knee hit before the 15-yard line.
It hits right before the 15, and then he comes down.
Yeah, we have an injury, a Texas player on the far side.
It's Michael Griffin again. Second time they've had to take him off tonight. Guy they can ill afford to lose. 4th down. And an inch.
Well, you got to play it safe, don't you? It's 4th down and an inch. You tell your big guy Brandon Jones, just duck your head and push.
I'm going to sound crazy here.
You want to go for it?
But I don't run the ball inside here.
What do you do?
I put the ball in the hands of Graham Harrell, and I find one of those receivers out there. For them, a throwing the football is like a running play for everyone else.
Well, let's see if Mr. Vegas is right here. Well, they're saying he didn't get it, and I think Texas may have stopped him. He slipped as he was trying to make that initial surge.
I just think that goes against your personality. I know it sounds crazy, and they may very well have gotten this 1st down. I think it goes against what you are as an offense at Texas Tech. And if he got this one, it's because it was a fortuitous spot. I don't think he got it.
Well, you can see the line. I mean, he only needed really about 2 inches, but he slipped.
No.
Nope, not even close. Texas is held with 4:24 to play.
It's as simple as this. What does Graham Harrell do well? And what does Graham Harrell not do so well? That would be my thinking.
But he went over, see him slip, and he tried to go over the left side instead of just following behind.
I think if
his
he
main
doesn't
blocker.
slip, he probably gets the 1st down. But he slipped, and that took his momentum. He fell over his offensive lineman's leg and never got full extension. Yeah, if you're Tech, you got to challenge it because you have to. If you're looking at the clock, this is maybe your last best opportunity.
And we're going to take a break while they review it again. We'll be back after this. Now they're still reviewing the play. Bevo likes what he sees so far. His Longhorns, number 5 in the country, leading at 35-31. 4:24 to play in the football game. Both teams now with 2 timeouts left unless Mike Leach loses this challenge.
After review, the play is confirmed as called. Texas Tech is charged with a timeout.
See, notice the language is different this time.
That's right.
This time is confirmed. So, you know, we're up here talking in the break, and our colleague Sam Polis, our spotter, said maybe the play before was the one to challenge, not the 4th down carry, but the 3rd down pass. See where the ball is? And you see how he's carrying it? He's got it tucked back underneath. He's got to talk to his receivers about extension.
Yeah. Well, it looks like his elbow, though, was over the 20.
But the ball was behind. The elbow was ahead of the ball.
Now, the play before that, I think you're right.
That might have been the one to challenge.
Sylvan Young straight ahead running. About a yard short of the 1st down. Texas Tech now with just 1 timeout left with 4:14 to play, trailing by 4.
I'll tell you one thing. You know what Mac Brown said to Ken Rucker, the running backs coach in Texas before this series? You tell those young men there better be 2 hands on the ball going through the pile.
That's right.
Because if another one comes out, and there's Ken Rucker, he's a terrific football coach. And he said the same thing before Mac Brown even said anything to him. But these young guys had better cover up the football in this situation.
From the eye again. Selvin Young got the first down with 3:38 to play.
You know, this time of year, there's so much discussion about the Heisman Trophy and other awards and the BCS and all that. And I always think of John Heisman in these situations. Watch this one as Selvin Young carries the football. He's already had some trouble with it already this evening. Look at this.
Whoa.
He better be hanging on to it, right? Because you know what John Heisman used to tell his guys at the start of every football season?
Yeah, really.
Gentlemen, this is a football. It's better for you to have died as a small child than to fumble my football.
And it's not that heavy. Selvin Young, again, left side. Oh, he takes a wallop as he gets up over the 30.
Is that Joe Garcia again?
Joe Garcia,
The hammer?
He's got 7 tackles tonight.
It's a terrific shot, but the shot they need is one that knocks the ball free, one they almost got the previous play. What a big-time hit. Joe Garcia, but they've got to find a way to kick the ball free again.
2:47 and counting. Second down and 8.
No Tech has to load up on defense for the run game here.
But you got to be careful.
See if Greg Davis wants to try and take advantage with a safe throw out wide.
They're looking for the go. Going for Billy Pittman. It is going to be incomplete. Penalty flag thrown. Texas Tech cannot believe it.
That would have come from the back judge in the middle of the field. Arthur Lucky. He had the look inside. Watch.
Interference. Defense, number 36. 15 yards. Automatic first down.
Tough one.
That's a tough one. He was in front of him.
Because to me, Antonio Huffman had him pinned into the sideline with his body, and he runs into him about the same time the ball is arriving.
Wow. This has been interesting tonight.
See, I thought Antonio Huffman did a good job as a defensive back, realizing it's an out and up, and then using his body to force him deeper into the sideline. That's a tough, tough call to go against Tech.
Fresh set of downs. 2:26 for Texas. That's all they've got to wait. And they're going to keep it on the ground. Jamal Charles up over the 50 down to the 49-yard line. Let's take a look at our keys to the game. We told you earlier on. We'll update them for Texas, see how they've done.
Yeah, we said this, at the start of this game they need to run deep. They've had 8 runs over 15 yards tonight. That's better for them. Control their emotions, the crowd, time of possession. They've had the ball almost 29 minutes. Max Halloween costume. Would he assume the persona of Mike Leach and go for it more? 1 for 1 on 4th downs tonight. Has not had to be in that position very often.
Second down and 5. Tech still with 1 timeout left. 1:45 to play in the ballgame. Selvin Young is the tailback. And he has it. Tries to get to the outside. No doing. 3rd down. 0 on the carry. 3rd down and 5. 1.5 to play. Tech's going to burn a timeout. Their final one.
The ball carrier tackled by number 56.
We've got it breaking the action. Let's check in with Martin scores and highlights, including Oregon State's big win over USC. Mike Riley's team takes home the victory. Also, Oklahoma State beating Nebraska today. All that coming up on the post-game report. And, of course, we'll be at Oklahoma State next Saturday right here on TBS, 7 o'clock Eastern time.
What is it about us and University of Texas when we broadcast our games? I'm going to ask you.
Last 2
And
years.
ask Craig, does this rank with the comebacks we've seen them have? The last 2 Oklahoma States, down 10-0 to Baylor. Does this rank in that category?
I think it's up with the Oklahoma State game. It's not the Baylor game.
No, that was only 10-0 in
Yeah.
1 quarter.
But
But the last 2 years,
Right.
I think it has to rank up there. I don't know what Sags thinks about it, but I'll put it up there. They were down 21-0 in this game on the road.
Craig?
In the past, when we've had these great comebacks, it was always because they had that one player who could do anything, Vince Young, and that's what Lyle Sutton, the defensive coordinator, told us in his meetings this week. He goes, you know, before our players were just in awe of Vince Young, all eyes would be on him. That's what attributed a lot of the comebacks they made against Texas Tech and other players. So obviously Colt McCoy, the quarterback tonight, growing up taking one more big step if they pull this off.
That's great observation, Craig. Lal Sensich said that Vince Young was the best big athlete he's ever seen in his years of coaching football.
McCoy rolling on 3rd down and 5. Steps up into the pocket. Needs to get to the 44-yard line, and he does, and then some. Inside the 20, slips at the 17-yard line.
And he did that on purpose. What about the savvy of Colt McCoy staying in bounds so the clock runs just a little bit more before they stop it for the first down? Rolls right. They're trying to run a little safe pass. Doesn't have it. Then he sees the gap the other way. And look how he has the ball tucked to make sure that if anyone's going to reach for it, he would double over the ball. And Lima Swede hasn't got as many passes as he's wanted, but does enough on Jamar Wall to occupy him. And then look at Colt McCoy staying in bounds. What a homecoming night for a young quarterback. 33 yards on the scamper.
Which is his longest rush of the year, and now
Out of timeout.
Out of timeout, Texas Tech. Texas can just take the knee and let the time run out. We've talked about Texas comebacks on TBS in 2005 and 2004. How about 2004? Oklahoma State running back Vernon Morancy gave the Cowboys a 35-7 lead. However, Cedric Benson's 5 touchdowns led to the Longhorns 49 unanswered points. They win at 56-35. And last year, Cowboys again jumped out to the 28-9 lead. But everything quarterback Vince Young led Texas to another huge comeback. 4 touchdowns, 80-yarder in the 3rd quarter. Texas goes on to win that ball game also. And tonight, Charles Menson down 21-0, and they're going to win it 35-31. 20 straight Big 12 victories for Texas, 13 straight Big 12 wins on the road.
Another impressive win for the Texas Longhorns. A very, very tough defeat for Texas Tech tonight.
And tonight's Vegas.com player of the game, of course, Colt McCoy. 256 yards passing through 4 touchdowns. He ran for 68. He's our Vegas.com player of the game, and he's with Craig Sager now.
Well, we talk about all these great comebacks. The second biggest comeback in Texas history on this field tonight, engineered by Colt McCoy. Talk a little bit about what this game meant, especially in that first half when you guys fell behind 21-0, and Coach Mack Brown told you, just have fun.
Just have fun. That's what it's all about. I can't say enough about this team. We come so far, come down from a 21-point deficit. Got a busted lip. Everybody's beat up. We fumbled. And we fought through it. That just shows the determination of this team.
You grew up not too far from here. You had a lot of family, friends, and a lot of people here. Your girlfriend goes to Texas Tech. Who is she rooting for?
She better be rooting for Texas. No, I just give God all the glory for allowing me to come out here and play, and for giving me the ability to play. You know, he deserves it all. I'm so proud of this team. I'm so proud of the coaches. You know, we came together. It's going to take us a long way.
What about that last run for the first down that clinched the victory? Talk about the play that was called and how you got the first down.
They just told me not to make a mistake and stay in bounds. You know, we knew Tech was out of timeouts. You know, I just did what they told me. They gave me a few bucks. You know, secured the win.
All right, thanks a lot. Coach, we talked to you at halftime about the great comebacks that we've seen on TBS with Texas, but this time there was no Vince Young on the sideline to make the miraculous comeback. Talk about how Colt McCoy was able to engineer this one.
Can we get out of our deal with you next week? You guys.
No, we're telling you. We got Oklahoma State next week with you.
Colt did great. The defense, Graham Harrell played so well the first half. He just had a perfect game. Our defense played so much better the second half, and we're able to get them off the rhythm a little bit. But when Colt needed to make the plays, he made them. And what a heart. And I think now he's come back from behind the last 4 weeks in a row, which makes him really special at that position.
The advice you gave him that first half when you said, hey, maybe you're trying too hard. You got your family, friends, you grow up here. What were you really thinking at that time down 21-0?
No, we worried about that all week. We knew there'd be a surge here. We've been out here before, and this is one of the hardest places to play because they play so hard out here and they play so fast and so well. They had a lot of confidence coming out of last week's game with Iowa State, so we expected everything to happen that happened. We just didn't want it to get to 24-31 before we kind of stopped it and started the other way.
You may blame TBS for falling behind in all these games. I know you're just kidding, but don't forget you're undefeated on TBS with all these great comebacks. What can we expect next week?
Well, you can still come back, and when you look at what Oklahoma State did against Nebraska today, we better get rid of this one in the morning and get ready to play Oklahoma State.
On the morning, but enjoy this one tonight.
Thanks, Craig.
All right, thanks, Craig Sager. You've been watching TBS Saturday Night College Football presented by Orbitz. Be sure to tune in next Saturday as we bring you a special doubleheader starting at 3:30 Eastern. Washington at number 24, Oregon, presented by Orbitz, followed by Oklahoma State at number 5, Texas at 7 o'clock Eastern with enhanced coverage presented by Phillips. For Charles Davis, Craig Sager, and our entire crew, I'm Ron Thulin saying goodnight from Lubbock, Texas. Final score again, Texas comes from behind to win it, 35-31. Now it's time for the Dodge postgame show with games left in the regular season.